come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Not come on in. Not come. Sorry, y'all. Y'all know I'm weird. Whatever.
Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl Bondy Blue. So let's go ahead. Let's go ahead. Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl Bondy Blue. Okay, follow me on Instagram and let's get into the video, right?
Hi, everybody. Hey, y'all. What's up? It's your girl Bondy Blue, and I am back for another Bondy Blue show, you guys. Okay. So we're going to be piggybacking off of a lot of the things we talked about yesterday. Please don't forget to like the video as you come in. Subscribe to my channel if you're new here. Okay, if you new here or whatever. And also follow my secondary channel, Bondy Blue Bites. And I cut up all of the little segments. I have an editor, girl. Shout out to Ashley. But I'll cut up the lives into subject matter and you can watch them in short little bites. Okay, so there's that. Also, don't forget that I promote for Reset by Design Wellness. And if you need a vacation that is luxurious, that is right on time, that is curated perfectly, come on down to Mauritius, East Africa with us, okay? This will be our fourth trip. We've been to Ghana, Thailand, and we've been to Bali. We've been in Thailand twice, but group trip, not the retreat. The retreat is for Black women only. The group trips are for everyone, and we've had one of those, and that was great as well. So if you guys want to sign up to come, the link is down below in the description box. Yes, thank you so much for reminding me. You should tip her. You should tip her. Also, I have merch in case you didn't know, because as we talk about often here, the community is not okay. They're not. They're not. Okay. I also have a puzzle and a coloring book, and I partner with a artist who also makes really amazing art. So yeah, support, you know, if you want to. And if nothing else, girl, just, you know, keep coming back. Okay. Keep coming back. All right. So let's get into it, girl. So right as I was doing my video yesterday, going in on y'all for not understanding what the fuck domestic violence is, and I still stand on that. Okay, I meant what I said. I said what I meant. Nothing, and I don't understand why. Like, it makes me feel like maybe we are more regressed as a society than I wanted to give everybody credit for, because the inability to understand that one thing does not cancel out another. Like, there are so many scenarios that could have taken place with this situation, but a lot of people were talking about Leah Gordon in a video that she did. So I went and watched her videos about this situation. We had already talked about what happened with Alicia Brown's daughter, Aaliyah Brown. We had went and Googled it because we were confused. If y'all recall, the first time we talked about Big Tigger in this domestic violence situation, when this woman came online all dramatical and showed us her eye and shit, and even though I was annoyed at the way she was coming on, at the end of the day, her eye is fucked up. And so I have to put my low-key uncomfortableness, okay, this thing making me distrust you, that you're showing, you know, some type of emotion that I feel like is insincere, right? But your eye is still fucked up. It ain't that insincere. Okay, I just, you know, I'm like a lot of other people that feel uncomfortable when people like showcase, you know, real emotion on the internet. Like, I be feeling like, why y'all doing this? Why y'all coming to us crying? And that's a me problem, just like it's a y'all problem, and not a person that is coming to like let y'all know what the fuck is going on. Because domestic violence situations can be dangerous, and just because we think it's not dangerous doesn't mean that it isn't. Okay, you're not in the household with people, and I just have to remind people of that all the time. You don't know somebody if you are not in the household with them, and you are not privy to how they move when nobody's watching. Okay, so when this story originally came out, we went and looked up about the daughter, and I think we all came to the consensus that she didn't want to give her daughter to the father. Okay, I read something that said the man had been in jail, and that was another reason. There was also like a molestation accusation against him. His name is Darrell Williams. Okay, hold up. I got his shit too. She got arrested because they want to know where the child is. The child was not in the car with her. There were 2 other kids there. So this is Darrell. And I listened to what Darrell said, okay? But I want y'all to understand, as we get into this aspect of the story, it does not negate what I saw, what the people saw, what the judge and them saw, what the DA saw, the video of him manhandling that woman behind that phone. And I'm going to say it again because I saw so many women in the comments, and y'all make me feel so unsafe. Y'all make me feel so unsafe. Like, I'm gonna be real. Like, my response is to curse y'all out and be aggravated with y'all. But in all honesty, y'all make me feel so unsafe. And y'all make me like, oh my God, it makes me so emotional sometimes because in real life, y'all don't care. Y'all don't listen. And I hate it because it be people I know. It be people that I really like love. And I'm like, this is how you think. Like, this is how you think. You really think that this phone is the most important part about this. Y'all were I saw a woman write a whole paragraph about how, yeah, they both wrong, but she's more wrong because she could have just gave him his phone back. And I'm like, that is so juvenile. That is such a juvenile way of thinking about a situation between a woman and a man, between a husband and a wife, that could be about infidelity, that could be about long-term abuse. And just because she's guilty of being a child abuser, allegedly, in one way or another, neglect or otherwise, that doesn't mean that it's then okay for Tigger to do what he did, which is decide that that phone mattered more than her body. She was actually harmed. Her eye was fucked up. Him wrestling with her caused her to hit her head on a door. And if you ask me, he did it intentionally. Because again, I believe that grown men that don't want to put their hands on women don't put their hands on women, and they damn sure don't fight with them over inanimate objects that can be replaced. The way y'all talk about objects, but that's his phone. And I'm like, what's not clicking, y'all? What's not clicking? The phone is not the most important part of this. The phone is going to be okay, y'all. I promise. I promise. Tigger's phone will be fine. Will the child that was recording the video be fine after being exposed to this? Because a lot of y'all, I saw some women in the comments saying that the boy who was recording the comments, that y'all thought it was really funny, and it was funny, when he screamed, "Mr. Tigger, stop." That might be her child and not his. The fact that he's calling him Mr. Tigger. The fact that this man would wrestle this woman in front of her child, y'all don't see nothing wrong with that because she got his phone. All of these way more important things, like child abuse, because that is child abuse. Like domestic violence, because putting your hands on somebody, even if they have your fucking phone, is still assault and battery. It doesn't make it right because you feel emotionally justified to put your hands on somebody when they have your phone. And I understand a lot of y'all are willing to go to jail and get charges over phones and shit. So clear on that. But it is so sad and it is so scary to see so many women defend something that is just so juvenile. It's just so ridiculous. But she could have just gave him his phone back. And why the person that's recording not jumping in? Because they're a child. You couldn't hear the voice? It's a child in the video saying, "Mr. Tigger, stop. Let her go. You can get another phone." The boy in the video says, "Mr. Tigger, you could get another phone." I know abusive men, y'all, and what I know about abusive men is that they look for opportunities to put their hands on people. That phone is not the point. The point is that he was looking for an opportunity to be physical with her. He was looking for an opportunity to be physical with her, probably because he's upset he got caught. And that's another thing that y'all left out of this. Y'all leave out of it that, oh, if somebody take your phone, it's not just somebody. It's not just anybody. This is 2 married people in a household, and somebody is probably cheating. Y'all are acting like that doesn't matter at all in this situation. And it's just so unrealistic because a lot of the women that are defending this, y'all are the type of women that go through niggas' phones and get into fights and shit with niggas. There was somebody in my comments calling me toxic while I'm running in the rain with my husband going to get something to eat because we don't have these fucking problems. Because I see crazy niggas a mile away. It's weird. It's weird to be called toxic for calling out something that is not only abuse, but something that's illegal and was proven illegal because he got a domestic violence charge. I don't understand. There were people talking about, I don't see the domestic violence in this. You don't see two people wrestling around on the floor? Oh, you've decided in your pea brain, shout out to Brooke Ashley, that that's not domestic violence. Honey, it is. It is. Y'all have normalized this shit. And it's upsetting. Fuck Alicia Brown. It's upsetting to hear how y'all talk, man. To hear how y'all think. Like, it really does, like, have me sometimes like, oh my God, it's like a whole bunch of unsafe ass people around me. They really think this phone is more important than that woman is. Like, they really think that this man should care about that phone and getting that phone back more than the fact that he's wrestling with a woman that's already banged her eye up against something. That lady already looked hurt. And y'all think I'm toxic because I think a man that is married to a woman should not want to put his hands on her, especially after she's already been hurt, as y'all have been tussling? That's not enough to be like, all right, bro, fuck it, you got it. That's not enough. Listen, all I know is India Ari was right. India Ari was right. And it's always the elder Black women that, you know, that I know I'm becoming. And you feel like the old lady in the woods yelling into the abyss. And they're mad at you. They're mad at you. You're the problem in this scenario. Not the person actually physically harming somebody, but the person calling it out for what it is. They're the problem. That shit is crazy. And I have the duality of being able to call out one thing and then come right over to here and call out the fact that even if Alicia Brown is a child abuser, which is possible in this situation because she was already arrested for neglect, leaving her child in a car for 8 hours when she went and gambled. The same 4-year-old child that has, you know, was about 9 years old here, and this is her father. Now, what I read online was suspect from the beginning because, as I said, when this story first came out, the story about her daughter was thrown out there almost like a rebuttal to her saying that Big Tigger abused her or insinuating it and saying he was cheating. This story gets thrown out. And I don't know if it was just me, but I felt like, oh, so Big Tigger, it must be pulling this shit out. For real, for real. People are saying it, but I feel like for it to be making blogs and shit, and then I feel like the blogs posted it and then took it down when he got arrested, which made me feel like he was the reason why that shit came out as soon as it, you know, she came out online and posted the video. Yes, that's what I think. I think he did it. I think he put this story out there, which makes him even more fucked up to me because that means you knew about the child. And I know you knew about the child because the man says you knew about it because the man got in contact with you. Other people have commented and told you about what was going on and you blocked them on social media. So Big Tigger, regardless of how Alicia Brown might be wrong in the situation, it's still fucking wrong. It's still a problem. And it's still, I feel like, aiding and abetting in child abuse. If she was abusing that child, if she was keeping that child locked in the house, like, he's also a part of that because he married her and had another child with her. He's also responsible. How have y'all come up once again in your fucking pea brain that this story coming out once again negates him rolling around on the fucking ground with that lady? It don't cancel it out, bitch. I ain't wrong about a motherfucking thing. Y'all be too old to be saying some of the shit y'all be saying because it be some old hoes in my comments, and then when I bring up y'all generation, everybody won't get mad at me. Bitches with gray fades and shit talking to me crazy about this situation. You too old for this, bitch. You should know better. And the things that I've heard about Tigger Child, they done brought up some other shit. They said, y'all brought up Keisha Knight Pulliam. I'm going to have to go look that shit up later. The shit that happened with Shamia and Miss Pat, I forgot about that. It's a lot of people got, grimy stories. Some of y'all got good stories about him. Yeah. Some of y'all have great stories about Big Tigger. But some people have terrible stories. They say the nigga ain't shit. And to me, I'ma tell y'all straight off rip, any nigga that's bitching out in front of them other niggas like that the way he was, but then gonna turn around and put his hands on a woman, that's a bitch ass nigga in my book. That's a bitch ass nigga in my book. Now, I want to get to this video, okay? This is a portion of the father's interview with Nina and Joe, but I also did watch the video and all of that on Leah Gordon's channel, and I posted it on my community page so y'all can go see it if y'all want to.
Williams on, as we've been talking about him all day, Joe Claire. He is the father of Aaliyah Brown, who of course has been missing for the last 7 years. What happened when you got the call last night? Because of course you weren't expecting it. You got a call from the detective, and what did they say to you?
When I got the call, he just basically told me that they had her in custody.
Wow.
And you got a phone call because they had her in custody because of your case, correct?
Yes.
Wait, I'm sorry. Hold up. Let's just stop for a second. Okay. So, because this is one of the comments that I keep seeing, and so that's why, I'm using this as an example. I don't think he was abusive in that video, but how he was insistent on getting the phone shows that he has those tendencies. Non-abusive men would have just let her have the phone. Okay, so and I'm really like being genuine. Why is it that you feel that he wasn't being abusive even though he's being physical with her? And this is what I really want y'all to glue in on. Just because he's not punching her. You saw one portion of this video, but they were in another video, which I've already played, where he's wrestling with her, seemingly to me for no fucking reason. At this point, I don't know why he's wrestling with her, but she says, "I'm bleeding. Take a picture. I'm bleeding. Take a picture." And then she goes to pick something up, and he grabs both of her arms and starts to wrestle with her. And she goes down to the ground because what you're trying to do is to get your weight to make them let you go. Because even the first time he goes to grab her, you guys, when he goes to grab her, that is abusive, sweetheart, because he's being physically violent with her. And I'm saying this because I really I wanted to sink in. I wanted to sink in because it is abuse. You don't have to see it that way because you feel like there's a backstory that changes what's physically happening. But in the moment, what's physically happening is a man is using his physical strength to try to overpower a woman. And she ends up getting hurt because he's physically grabbing her and wrestling with her. And so she gets hurt when her face goes against a door. It seems like it's just, an accident. He's just trying, but that's not how it works. That's not how it works. In any capacity, he would be the person responsible for causing her injury because he's the one that initiated physical contact with her. And I don't know if y'all noticed, but at no time in any of these videos is she hitting him or really fighting him. And I'm not doing this, and I want y'all to hear me because y'all often think that I'm saying shit because I hate men or whatever stupid reason you think it's for. I really want y'all to know this for yourselves. I want you to know this type of information for yourselves. I want you to know that men are not supposed to feel like they can just physically overpower you because they feel like it, because you've taken a phone or because you said something that they don't like. They don't have a right to touch you. It doesn't matter. And a part of the problem is that we don't see it, y'all. We don't see how it's not right for you to just be touching somebody just because you feel like it. And that's because we haven't really been given bodily autonomy in a lot of ways. In a lot of ways, you're supposed to be okay with giving your body over to other people or letting other people decide what to do with your body. It's spiritual, it's mental, it's physical, it's emotional, it's psychological. A man physically, like, I can't tell y'all how I would feel. And I'm somebody that even, because I don't know if y'all pay attention to this. People will do things and you can feel that they mean to hit you or push you. It isn't aggression in the way that they're doing it. I have noticed people do shit like that with me. And if I was a different type of person, I would have hit their ass back and we would have been fucking fighting. And I feel like that's what they wanted. They want to get me into some type of physical situation. And so what they do is they do little shit that's supposed to be an accident, but it's not. People do this type of shit all the time. It's a way of dominating people. It's a way of trying to control them. And I just want you to understand that, like, think about it. Girl, if Lyric ever was physically trying to overpower me, do you know how hurt I would be? Do you know how heartbroken I would be if that man ever felt like he needed to, like, fight me for something? That has never happened in a 16-year relationship. We have never physically been in a wrestle over not a goddamn thing. And yeah, that's because I'm the type of woman that will just walk away from things. And a lot of women not like me. And that's cool, right? But also because this is a man that knows how to walk away and knows that some things are not worth it. And putting your hands on a woman is not worth getting the phone back. It's just not that serious. There's a care that you're supposed to have for people that you're in relationships with that I think a lot of y'all don't know about. I'm dead ass. I feel like a lot of y'all don't understand that you're supposed to have more care for the people that you're in marriages and relationships with, the people you have children for, the people you have baby. Like, girl, that man is supposed to care more about you than a phone on any given day. I don't care. I don't care, y'all. I don't care how y'all feel about inanimate objects. I don't care how y'all want to justify these violent actions and how you don't see things as they are. And I really do feel like that's crazy, because if you would think about what it feels like to have somebody always trying to put their hands on you when you're not trying to put your hands on them, that shit don't feel like, I don't like that shit. That shit don't feel good. If my husband ever put his hands on me in that type of manner, I would be so fucking heartbroken. The way I would be, like, hysterically probably crying, because it would be breaking how I see him. Don't even get me started. I think y'all don't think about things deep enough when it be shit that's actually really serious. He didn't care if she was okay when she hit her head. It was almost like he meant, and that's why I feel like he meant for her. You know what I'm saying? He meant for her to hit her head. I do. If I got any moderators in the room, y'all know what y'all can do. Y'all know what y'all can do. Yeah, because I feel like when I really have, like, I'm really having a conversation, I'm really, like, trying to level with people and not be disrespectful and really talk like woman to woman about what's actually happening and what's actually right and what's actually wrong. And phones are not more important than people, sweetheart. Phones are not more important than people. And it's really sad that y'all think that phones are more important than people. I almost feel like y'all are, like I said yesterday, y'all are acting like crackheads behind a phone. Since when is this object, like, worth somebody possibly losing their fucking eye because you want to fight him for it? Like, it doesn't even really make sense, especially because that's not his only phone. I'm gonna keep saying that. Y'all, it's not his only phone. Why are y'all acting like that's his only phone? Why are y'all acting like he's not at home at his house with his wife? Why are y'all not acting like there's a whole nother video of him holding a fucking iPad and being at a desk full of things? Like, why are y'all ignoring all of the other things that I'm saying so that you can be hyper focused on this one thing? I really want y'all to ask yourself this question, because I know I'm right. This is not a conversation where we're, because a lot of y'all think we're having a difference of an opinion. No, y'all really just don't understand what domestic violence is, what abuse is, and you're misinformed and you're undereducated on it. We're not having a difference in opinion on this situation. That's not what's happening here. Because a lot of times y'all think we're having an opinion versus, opinion thing. No, this is a fact situation. That's why he got charged with domestic violence once all of the video was seen. Let's listen.
Alicia Brown was taken in on outstanding kidnapping-related warrants out of Maryland and by the Fulton County Sheriff's Office on felony charges of interference with child custody. Was Aaliyah Brown in the car with Alicia when she was arrested last night?
So they haven't located Aaliyah yet. They're still, searching and doing the investigation there.
Do you have confidence that Aaliyah physically is okay?
No, she's alive. She's definitely alive. I can confirm that. I've always known that. I've always known pretty much what was going on. To be honest with you, I hated it had to be who they have in custody because that's still her mom. And, all of this was for nothing. All of this was for absolutely nothing.
Wow.
I just want to take the time and thank everybody that ever, over this 7-year process, shared the hashtag, the Find Aaliyah Brown. Anything that you posted about my daughter, it's really because of you all that I'm at this point.
What do you want your daughter to know when she hears this?
I just hope you understand that no matter who this was, they would have treated this the same way. You do not just take a child from another parent and go about like it's okay. This is not okay. This is actually against the law. So in time, I hope you can understand that this is the truth, and I'll still miss you. I can't wait to see you, and I just hope you understand everything that might be going on because I know it's a lot, and I'm sorry that your name is circling around so much for this instead of things that you're actually good at and talented at. But I pray we can just start on a good foot, and I'm waiting, and I'll be here, and I'm willing to go at whatever pace you want to go. I miss my daughter.
My man.
Darrell Williams, I'm so proud of you for just keeping up the good fight. I know there's no other option for you. Please keep us posted, and we are praying for Aaliyah's safe return home very, very soon.
Thanks again for having me, and again, I want to thank everybody for your assistance. Like I said, I wouldn't have gotten this much attention without everyone's help, so I really appreciate it. I'm a little lost for words and kind of disheveled a little bit, but I really appreciate it.
We wanted to bring Darrell.
Okay, so let me tell y'all, what it says and what we know, and then I'll tell y'all about what I heard, okay? Alicia Brown, 37 of Atlanta, was taken into custody during a traffic stop. According to the Hart County Sheriff's Office, deputies received an alert about the car traveling north on the interstate. Deputies pulled over the vehicle near exit 177 along the Georgia State Patrol troopers. A woman and 2 young children were taken into custody. No one was injured. Aaliyah Brown was not one of the 2 children with Alicia during her arrest. The backstory: Brown is wanted on outstanding kidnapping-related warrants out of Maryland and by the Fulton County Sheriff's Office on felony charges of interference with child custody. The Baltimore County Police Department wanted Brown on charges stemming from the disappearance of a 10-year-old child who was reported missing in 2019. Maryland officials say they would extradite her back to face charges. What they're saying: we are thankful for the quick response. Okay, so yeah, it was a coordinated effort. Okay, so this is what I want to say. Nobody thinks that this child is like dead or anything, y'all. The daddy said that he believes that the child is fine because the child is with somebody that they know. I feel like it sounds like the child might be either with Alicia in that house somewhere or with the grandmother. They also said that Alicia was in and out of the foster care system. When the father explained things, I'm going to just tell y'all the things I remember him saying. First of all, he said that he was not in jail for a long, extended period of time like I thought he was, because that's what I read. But he was going back and forth to jail because she accused him of assault. He did not get into specifics about the many times. Like, he didn't say how many times. He didn't say what had actually happened. He just said that he got arrested for assault, and it was her saying that he assaulted her, but it was lies. That's what he said, that it was lies. Okay? He also, in what he was saying, it feels like a dog whistle to men who believe that the court system is only thinking about the mother and the child. And, like, he was very much giving the court system is against men and they only care about keeping a child with a mother. And I'm like, yeah, sometimes. But most of the time, the judges are just as misogynistic as the men are. So that isn't always the case. So I don't like when y'all try to generalize like women have some type of power that they don't have in a judicial system when it comes to them and their children. Like, I don't like when men do that because it's your feelings. It's not actually like the statistics of what's actually happening. It's your feelings because of your specific situation. So it must be happening to everybody. It's not. Because most men don't even fight for custody. And most of the time when men do fight for custody, they get custody. And guess what? He did get custody, y'all. He eventually did get custody. He said that she accused him of molestation of the child. He also said that in order to prove that he did not molest the child, when the child was then, he was given access to have the child over to his house, he put cameras in her bedroom to make sure, to record so that there would be evidence that he wasn't going into her room. Now, I'm going to tell y'all this. That sounds nice and everything, but I've already told y'all that putting a camera in a child's bedroom is a problem for me. And I mean, not a baby or a toddler. I'm talking about like middle school age girls, teenage. Like, I don't think y'all should have cameras in those kids' rooms like that. And it's because I feel like anybody can watch that feed. That's why I really do feel like y'all think it's just y'all. Yeah, I don't believe that. I think anybody who's behind a computer somewhere could watch that feed of your kid in their bedroom changing clothes and all of that type of shit. So I don't like that, but I understand his reasoning for doing it was to prove that he's not doing something, which in all honesty, so you think that we will believe your cameras, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you think we would, like, what? I don't know. That was problematic to me. And this is what he said out of his own mouth, y'all. I listened to the interview. I listened to what he said. Okay? That's where this is coming from. He said he recorded the girl being instructed to put on her clothes and get a bag and climb out the window and was helped to climb out the window. And she believes that it was Alicia. It was her mom. Her mom came to get her. He also feels like the little girl will do anything to please her mom. And it's not that he also said that, I don't know what he meant when he said, oh, the little girl was in foster care at some point because I think she did lose custody. He said he was kind of back and forth with his story because at one point he was saying that when the little girl was left in the car, they put her in the custody of Alicia's mom. Then he said that the child was in foster care at some point and the little girl was telling him that the mom kept showing up and the mom was calling her over and over and over again. And when, and then he talks about when he was awarded custody, she would be at his house and the mom would send her with a watch and 3 phones and all of this stuff so that she can keep in contact with her. And I'm like, yeah, that could be problematic. And she could also be nervous about you having custody of a child because yes, women are offenders, absolutely. But at large, it is men that are more of a problem. He says it was all lies about the molestation, but again, the camera in the bedroom is a little suspect to me. Like you can say one thing and just because you say it doesn't mean that I'm going to believe you, okay? And I do believe that a lot of people, were listening to him and because he does sound calm, he sounds succinct for the most part, he is believable. It sounds like he cares about his child. It really, really does. But I'm not going to act like I don't understand why a mother, even if she was neglectful at some point, would not want to hand her child over to a man, even if it is the father. And he hasn't really been with the child like that. Matter of fact, let me just go ahead and pull it up and then we could listen to it a little bit. Okay, I'm going to just listen to a little clip. Because I was very confused listening to it. But what I understand is that the main thing, we feel like the child is safe. The child is with somebody that she knows. I believe Alicia just didn't want to give him custody of her child. And yes, in the law, that's wrong, right? When it comes to the law, that's wrong. But in real life, niggas have been known to assault their daughters. Let's see. Your biases are showing, Bondy. The girl was 10 years old at the time, not a teenager. Can somebody explain to me what the fuck is happening in this comment? When did I say that? Like, I'm so confused. I didn't say she was a teenager the entire time. I said middle school, and I don't like when middle school and teen, y'all hear what y'all want to hear. I know how old she was. Please don't make me curse you out. I'm so, what? I didn't say she was a teenager the whole time. She's a teenager now. She's 16, 17 now. I'm fully aware of her being 4 years old when her mom got arrested for leaving her in a car. 7 years old when the dad decided he wanted to go to court for her. 9 years old when he was supposed to be getting custody. And 10 by the time the little girl went missing. And it has been 7 years since then. So she should be 16, 17 years old now. And no matter what, I don't like, if you're not a toddler, I don't like for somebody to put a camera in any child's bedroom. It's a lack of respect of privacy. Oh, girl, don't piss me. What? I'm cursing. I told y'all I was cursing y'all out. Don't do me. Don't act like I said something I ain't fucking say.
The custody battle intensified.
Okay, hold up.
On deaf ears, and the judge, until we didn't. And she was so stressed out during that time.
Okay.
Trying to do.
Let's listen. Shout out to Leah Gordon. I'm not gonna play the whole thing. Y'all subscribe to her channel.
Probably, I think she might have been about 5 or 6 at that time. But we went to the carnival and we just had pretty much endless fun. It was probably one of the best times we had together.
What kind of father were you trying to be?
I mean, I was trying to be the best father to my daughter, a protector, a provider. I'm her biggest fan, so I would have been supportive in anything that she was, trying to do. I went to the activities that I didn't know about, so I was just trying to support, protect, and encourage her to be, a successful adult and go on from there.
How would you describe your relationship before the custody battle intensified?
I would say it was a little rocky because she was so stressed out during that time, I feel like, because she didn't have any type of security in a sense. Every day there was something new happening as far as where she needed to go. Well, almost every day or every week, she had a new location of where she needed to go, the things that had been going on in court, the things that her mom had been doing in between the court proceedings and trying to just keep showing up and just always popping up wherever she was. It was really confusing her. So I think she was very, I'm gonna say a bit on edge or hesitant when it came to just showing her emotions or feelings toward me.
And I saw.
So he's saying that his daughter was hesitant to show emotion towards him because her mom kept popping up wherever she was, and that was confusing. So I assume this is when the little girl was in foster care. So a mother popping up on, that's how we, okay.
In the documents that the judge said her mother was.
And I understand people who have special needs kids. I do. I don't believe this child has any special needs, y'all. It doesn't sound that way. But yeah, no, I do understand y'all that have to do it for like safety precautions and all of that. I definitely understand that.
Heavy influence on her. Before Aaliyah was even born, what was your relationship like with Alicia?
Before she was born, it wasn't that long. So it was, I mean, we met, we got along until we didn't. And when we didn't get along, or when we got into an argument or a disagreement, I've quickly learned the methods and routes that she's willing to take to get some get back or retaliation. And I can't deal with a person like that, even whether it be my own child's mom or anyone. I can't associate myself with that.
Looking back now, do you think the custody fight began because the romantic relationship ended?
Absolutely not. The court case began not even because of the casino incident. The court case began because I was always having trouble having consistent time and just spending time with my daughter. There was no other way I was going to get over this hill without the court's help. I could have did gloves off and just do it the unconventional way, but that would not have solved anything in this type of situation.
Of course, we all heard about the tragic story. Why do you think the judge changed her 3-year sentence to, I believe, 5 days after the casino incident?
Well, I expressed my disgust, utter disgust, but it fell on deaf ears, and the judge made that decision and had some type of modification in place after the probation period, so it wouldn't be counted against or go against her record. But they gave her a slap on the wrist, and that's just kind of the best way to put it.
Do you think she's connected by any way with anyone? I know she worked at the Baltimore mayor's office because I just don't understand how could this happen time and time again. Was this brought up in the court?
The casino incident is definitely a pillar in the case as to show her behavior when it came to our daughter. So yes, it was all talked about through and throughout the case, as well as the custody evaluation from the court social worker. They always highlighted that even though it had been 3 years removed, or at least a couple years removed at that point, the problem that they had was that she never acknowledged the totality of the incident. She never acknowledged just how severe of a thing this was and how damaging this could be to a child. She just brushed it off as if, it was a small, isolated kind of incident.
So you don't think there was ever a time that you and Alicia could co-parent successfully?
Yeah, whenever I did whatever she wanted me to do,
Mm.
and that kind of doesn't work. The control factor is not some the control factor that she kind of possesses is not something that anybody can really follow. So we did try to co-parent. We were doing it. I don't know. Sometimes it would last as good as 4 months. We're fine. Then we get into argument or disagreement about something, and now I can't see my daughter anymore. So I'm back at square one. Our disagreements was, hey, do you think I could take her to the movies? Yeah, you can take her on this date. And I'll be like, well, can I take her on the movies on Saturday? She's like, you can take her on Sunday. I'm asking about Saturday because I'm not able to take her Sundays. Things like that. When I'm not able to do something or provide in a sense, then it's okay. Well, you see why I don't bother with your father, or you see what your father does. He just doesn't care about you.
About how
Yeah,
long did the custody battle last?
this is what people need to kind of capitulate. When she left my daughter in the car, she was 4. I filed for custody twice before that. And the reason why I couldn't get in court is because I could never find an address to serve her. So
Mhm.
when the casino incident happened, I filed again. We got her served, and there's a there's a process before you have to go through before you even get a court date, and they want you to do like any pretty much the the alternatives to actually having a trial, because that really costs the most money. They want you to try to figure this out before that point.
Mhm.
That took 3 years. I didn't get a court date until 3 years later when she was 7. And then when I finally got into court to have a court date, it took 18 months of trial and proceedings and petitions and me asking for contempt and me just pretty much reporting all the things that had been happening to the judge. Totality, it was a 5.5 year process.
And throughout the case, there were just serious allegations made towards you. The findings were unsupported. Like, how did you react to those allegations when they were first made?
I reacted how anyone would act that never been accused of something like that. I was furious, but I was more than helpful and wanting to be helpful to help them disprove whatever the allegations were. But I was upset, and my career, my job was affected. I mean, I lost things because of those allegations, so I was very upset.
Did you feel that the law enforcement and the courts investigated fairly?
I think that the process was done fairly. I just think it was done at a snail's pace versus if that were me doing some of those things that you read,
Mm.
I would not even, it wouldn't have gone on that long. If I would have left my daughter in the car at 4 years old, I wouldn't have custody to this day. And it's just simple as that. And as far as their investigation, the police, they're doing everything they're supposed to because there's more garnered attention now. But when this happened, they dropped the ball as well. There was no Amber Alert that went out. There was no posting of her being missing until until about a week of her being missing. That's when the first "Have you seen this child?" photo went out, not when it happened.
It's disturbing to hear.
What's most disturbing is that they're in the same building as the Department of Social Services. They have the child division in the same building, so they are very familiar with the same case, the same person, and still, that's what happened.
Is this when she entered foster care?
Yeah, toward the end of the investigation, when that was concluding, she was to leave. She was in foster care for maybe 3 to 4 days, and she was scheduled to leave and move out and return back to her parent, which was me.
So she was only in foster care for 3 days. Before that, she was still with Alicia, or was she with Alicia's mother?
She might have been in foster care a little longer than that. At one point during the custody case, it gotten so bad that they restricted access from her mom completely. No more contact. You cannot visit for the time being, and so she wasn't even supposed to have contact or be around her at all. And when it was bedtime at the house, that's when, the things transpired. And a white SUV was seen standing idle in the neighborhood, a neighborhood that are single family homes. So you would know if this person doesn't belong here.
What do you know about the foster home or the foster family?
I know mom lived 5 minutes away from the actual foster house. What I know about the family, they were, it's not much of a family. It was a foster mom.
Mhm.
And she was, she was very friendly. I spoke to her often because I would check in on my daughter to make sure she's okay. And I never had no issues out of it. I will say that she did call me once to complain about her mother. Like, she's calling so much. She keeps coming by the house. Is there something you can do about that? And I'm like, I don't have anything to do with that. And you might want to tell the caseworker what's going on.
So she disappeared from the foster home, correct? After the verdict that Aaliyah was to go back into your custody full time.
Yes. So I was awarded custody first, and then the allegation came out. So then they took her back out of my home and then did the investigation. Once that was over, because I already had a custody established, she was supposed to be returned back to the custodial parent's home, which was me.
Thank you for clarifying that. So let's talk about the days leading up. Like, how was she behaving? Because it seemed like a lot was going on. What seemed unusual with Aaliyah?
So during that 3-year span, they did what's called a custody evaluation. There's a court-appointed social worker that pretty much gets all the information from both parents, and they interview Aaliyah, and then they analyze the evidence to either support, refute, or provide background to whatever your claims are. So what I told the social worker was that same thing I've been saying. I don't have regular access. It's usually hit or miss. And I'm having a hard time trying to form a bond because my mom keeps trying to destroy it no matter what I try to do, or I don't get consistent time. So when she goes back home, she goes right back to being deprogrammed or whatever the word. And then the next time I see my child, I have to, start it over again. And usually it doesn't take long to get her out of that phase, but it always happens every time it's time to go back home. And how was she behaving? Honestly, when I would go to these visitation centers, when I would go to see her, we would talk just fine. Like, there would be no issues. And back to the custody evaluation, once the social worker just made her suggestion or her it's not a ruling, but her recommendation. When she made her recommendation, she said that Alicia should not have custody of the child, and she should have visits. She should have supervised visits for the time being, to allow this child to have some type of mental health treatment, some counseling, a lot of intensive therapy. And when that ruling or when that recommendation came out, she told Aaliyah. And from that point, when we got back to the visitation center, she just stopped talking to me. Wow. And this is all documented because they have to, jot down the notes.
They recognized that this did not happen until this date, and that was the date after the recommendation came out.
How far along was that before she went missing?
That was at least, I'm gonna say, a year and a half, 2 years before.
When was the last conversation you had with her?
2019 is the last time I saw my daughter. Last time I gave my daughter a hug was March 27, 2019. Her birthday is April 3rd.
She is now 17. Who was Aaliyah as a little girl?
She was vibrant. She was very active. She was into a lot of carnival, and we just had pretty much endless fun. It was probably one of the best times we had together.
What kind of father were you trying to be?
I mean, I was trying to be the best father to my daughter, a protector, a provider. I'm her biggest fan, so I would have been supportive in anything that she was, trying to do. I went to the activities that I didn't know about, so I was just trying to support, protect, and probably.
She is now 17.
And she was scheduled to leave mental health treatment. I feel he knew what her name, was actually or not, but I spoke to her father.
What do you believe the significance is to name her second daughter with the same name as her first child?
I think the significance of that, it just shows you the extent that a person will go to keep a lie going. You sacrifice one of your unborn children that's defenseless, and named her the same name as my child to cover up whatever you did with my daughter.
And what was the conversation like with her father?
Informative. I'm just gonna be as frank as I can. He was petrified of this woman after his experience. He had a lot. He was very established in his. I believe that she was just abducted or randomly picked up by somebody on the side of the road. I know I'm being a bit vague there, but it's because I don't want to jeopardize their investigation. But I assure you that there's been some shocking developments in the last 7 days that I've learned.
What could we do? How can we help you?
I'm gathering a lot of facts, and I know I'm not going to say I feel like I'm close or I feel like I'm breaking ground, but the only thing that you would do is the same thing that you've been doing as far as telling them who to call, because the tips is what I'm gathering most of this information from, but they're just not they don't have any contact with their and she lied and said that I hit her with a shovel and somebody called on the phone, and then at that point they was giving her instructions because she started putting on clothes, started going through my
oh, that's the part.
That day that your daughter went missing.
I feel like what was reported was exactly that happened. It's not the first time like my daughter ran away or got out of the house and like without permission. So she knew how to leave a house. I just feel like she wouldn't have left if she didn't have somewhere to go or somebody to pick her up. That's just not my daughter. And
so when she did run away, she was running to someone that she knew.
I'll tell you a story about the first runaway. This was when I was when we were going through the custody trial and everything. When I was granted some access to her while the trial was still going on. One of the first nights that I had her at my house for
Can I say, every time he says access to her, like, y'all, I haven't made a decision about how I really feel about this. There are things he says that I'm like, yeah, Alicia sounds like a crazy bitch for sure. But there's things about his language and things like these little small things that I'm catching that it makes me feel, I don't know.
Overnight, I was supposed to take her to school the next morning. Her mom sent her with an Apple Watch and like 3 phones. And when it was time to go to bed, I had no way to protect myself in the sense of mom keeps saying I do stuff. I don't know. I'm in here by myself with my daughter, and I don't have nothing to say or to like safeguard me from anything that might be said. So I bought a camera system and I put it in her room to turn it on when she went to sleep. So when she went to sleep, she got a call on her Apple Watch, and then she got a call on the phone. I gave her the phone just to make her feel comfortable when she went to bed. Somebody called on the phone, and then at that point they was giving her instructions because she started putting on clothes. She started going through my closets to find like socks and stuff. And then someone was at the window, all on record. Somebody was at my window and they helped her out the window. Turns out it was her mom because she ordered an Uber from my house to her grandmother's house under her account. This is why I say it was staged. This is why I say, yes, she left my window, but she did not just run away. She was called and basically instructed out of my window.
So she was just really heavily under her mother's influence.
She at that time would do anything her mother told her, even if it was to my own detriment. I just think she don't want to let her, in her mind, I just don't think she want to let her mom down. And, showing affection for someone that mom doesn't like was just off the table in that household, at least in her mind. So if mom don't like you or mom don't like dad, you don't like dad.
What has Alicia's mother said? Because she is someone that, I mean, she's a home that Aaliyah would go to a lot. Was she helpful in her disappearance?
I'll put it this way: Alicia's mother has never said anything either. I'm gonna try to watch my words. But her, along with Alicia, made this entire process, the trial and everything, so much harder than it actually needed to be. They caused so many problems. And she lied and said that I hit her with a shovel and tried to have me arrested.
Does Alicia have any siblings? Like, does Aaliyah have an auntie, uncle, anybody else she can go to?
She had an uncle, Alicia's younger brother, but he passed away recently. I don't know about any other family that might still be in contact. My guess is that they don't have any contact with their actual maternal side of the family because no one's saying anything. If I were lying, then why is it the family coming out and saying something?
So, what did the authorities tell you about the investigation? What did they find out?
I can't share everything that I know, but there, especially in the last 7 days, there is a massive amount of information that I've learned. And what they do know is that she is not with a stranger, and they don't believe that she was just abducted or randomly picked up by somebody on the side of the road. I know I'm being a bit vague there, but it's because I don't want to jeopardize their investigation. But I assure you that there's been some shocking developments in the last 7 days that I've learned.
What could we do? How can we help you?
Okay, I'm gonna leave it at that. So he says that the assault that he got accused of was all lies. That's a possibility. It's also a possibility that he's lying. That's neither here nor there. But putting the camera in her room to prove you're not molesting her, like I don't know how I feel about that. That just feels, I don't know. I don't know how I feel. This comment: most folks aren't pick-me's. Yes, y'all are. We just don't like seeing women like Alicia encompass every horrible trope of a baby mama. Alicia Brown is the epitome of every bad baby mama stereotype. And that can be true. But the fact that you can't see the abusive nigga stereotype, the weak ass nigga stereotype in Big Tigger is a part of the reason why y'all are pick-me's. Because it's not that I don't know, like, oh, we care about the kids. Sure. To me, because y'all didn't give a fuck about Tigger doing that shit in front of that kid who was holding the phone screaming, obviously in fucking distress. Tigger had a responsibility in that situation to not wrestle with that woman in front of that child, and he did it any fucking way. Y'all don't care about that. He caused bodily harm to that lady. Y'all don't care about that. He knew about this shit, and he still had a baby with her, possibly endangering another child if she really is the person that y'all are saying she is. Y'all don't have a problem with that. But we want to make sure that we drive it home that she is a bad mom. Listen, at the end of the day, I'm willing to believe something ain't right with the bitch, okay? Every time I see pictures of her eyes, I'm like, yeah, that bitch crazy. She is. It's in her eyes. It's in her eyes. But there's a part of me that, I don't trust men who haven't really raised the children wanting custody so bad all the time. Yes, sometimes people are great fathers and sometimes people are pedophiles. And sometimes women are lying and abusing systems and using children to control and hurt men. Absolutely. I've seen it in real life. I'm not disputing that. This could absolutely be that type of situation. And niggas could also be making a woman look crazy for simply feeling like my daughter ain't safe with you. And so I'm going to do whatever I'm going to do whatever I can do to make sure that my child is safe. They make movies about people ignoring court orders and being like, no, I'm not sending my fucking child with that nigga and y'all are crazy. Because legally it's fine for a man to like not have been in a child's life at all, come out of nowhere, file some paperwork, and now a woman is supposed to send a child to a man's house that child really don't feel comfortable with or even have a relationship with. That's a part of this. I can also see the fact that lady is crazy and that she put her children in harm's way. and that she has children with men that she don't fucking know. And that, you in there fighting with a nigga over a cell phone. Like you don't know who that nigga is. I can see that too, y'all. We can look at two things at the same time. Like, I feel as if you can't tell a woman that it's her responsibility to de-escalate a situation simply for picking up a phone. No. He's more responsible to keep his hands to himself. I'm sorry. She can pick up the phone in her house. She can. Legally, she can pick up a phone in her house. She absolutely can pick up a phone at the house that she lives at. And that doesn't mean that her husband can tackle her to the ground for it. I need y'all to get y'all life together. No. Just simply no. I need y'all to get over that. The phone is not that important. The phone is not that important. I'm gonna just say that I don't think that the lady is well, so I am definitely worried about the child. I am. I'm deeply worried about the child and the child's mental. But I also don't trust Big Tigger. And I feel like at the end of the day, any man that will bitch up like that in front of other men, but will happily be physical with a woman over an inanimate object, yeah, no. That's some puss ass shit. I can see him being fucked up and then also look at this other situation with this child and see her being fucked up. And I want to tell y'all, just like my favorite fake music group said, 2 wrongs don't make it right. But 2 wrongs was the night I kept you guessing. It's all I can do. All I can do and hope that maybe you come around again. Now I see that the wonders of devotion, it doesn't come free. A heart is a house of love. And I've learned that it don't take much to break a heart. Is a house for love. And I've learned. Give it up, give it up, give it up. Ooh. Give it up, give it up, give it up. Ooh. Okay, listen, y'all making me want to knock y'all fat asses off a piano. It takes more than love to build it up, to build it up. You hoes better be squirming in your seats. Is there a heart? Is there a heart in the house tonight? Stand up, stand up. Let me know that you understand. Is there a heart? Is there a heart in the house? Is there a heart in the house? Y'all hoes better be feeling me right now. You got to have love. You got to have love in your heart tonight. Is a house of love. And I've learned. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, but a heart is a house. You got to feel it. I'm not about to do choir, boy. I'm not. I could, though. I'm not, though. We not hitting them high notes with him. Ooh, 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 let me know Let me know you understand. And this is why we have a good time, but we also have serious conversations. I fuck with y'all. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for everybody that had me on loudspeaker. No, y'all, why they've been doing a trend on TikTok singing, ooh, ever since I met you, girl. It's been here today, no tomorrow. And just when I think I get over you, I come back. Girl, you're just a bad addiction. Every cut of you needs me holding on. Listen. Hold up. It says ECPA and state computer crime statutes reading or accessing a spouse's private digital devices and accounts without their explicit consent is generally illegal. Girl, they must still be watching that part. Girl, I thought they were saying something that pertained to what I was doing right now. Girl, why is you putting state statutes and shit in my comments? Wait a minute, bitch. Listen, am I fucking up by singing the 5 heartbeats up here? Am I breaking the copyright? And that is why he should have called the cops instead of attacking her. Ba-boom, pow. They know. And you know what? Before we actually move on from there, I'm going to play this video one more time. Because y'all act, y'all say shit and act like y'all don't know what the fuck going on. Oh, we care so much about this phone. How about this moment? This is yours. Look at where they standing.
I'm bleeding, so take a picture. No. Take a picture. Take a picture.
Alicia, stop.
Take a picture.
Alicia, stop.
Get off the picture.
So he's trying to stop her from taking a picture of her face because now she's bleeding. And so now he's touching her again. I don't think y'all get that he not just supposed to be touching her. Like, I don't think y'all get that.
Get off of me. Get off of me.
That's what I believe, but might have busted her face even more. Because she said she was already bleeding. He got an iPad in his hand. They're in front of a big-ass iMac.
I'm bleeding, so take a picture.
Take a picture.
Take a picture. Take a picture.
Alicia, stop.
Now, why y'all?
Get off the picture. Get off
It's still
of me.
about a phone, huh?
Get off of me.
This is TMZ. And this is the video that originally came out. That is surveillance. It's not the kid recording it. This is from the cameras in their house. Okay? So in this moment, I don't know what y'all are talking about, the way he went to grab her in this moment. Where's the phone in this moment? Where there was an iPad right there. This is not about a fucking phone. It's not about the phone, y'all. It's not. Let's do it one more time.
Never plug it back up. This is yours.
I am bleeding.
This is yours.
I am
bleeding, so
bleeding.
take a picture. No. Take a picture. Take a picture.
Alicia, stop.
Take a picture.
Alicia, stop.
Get off the picture. Get off of me. Get off of me.
There you go. Never plug it back up. This is yours.
Y'all, yeah, I guess, y'all think niggas that do shit like that is cool. I don't. That's where our difference in opinion lies. But whether this is domestic violence, the fact that y'all are in my comments arguing with me about whether it's domestic violence, when that's just simply a law, That's just simply a law. That's something y'all can Google and look up. It absolutely the fuck is. Everybody needs to get their life together. Okay? Everybody needs, these are Googleable things, bitches. Googleable things. Okay? You don't have to be in the dark. You don't have to be wrong. You can Google it. Okay? Everything is some very ignorant shit that y'all think everything is a matter of opinion. It is. It's some real ignorant shit that y'all think everything is a matter of fucking opinion. It's not. It's not. It's so not. Oh my God, it's not. It's not. So, y'all, let's move on. So, y'all, we were talking about the Nolan Wells boy yesterday. And I wasn't sure because they weren't actually saying it exclusively in any of the, the stories I was reading. Okay. But apparently this is another one of them situations where a black boy don't have no other black friends in a white friend group and end up dead. And so instead of us calling out the fact that this is a pattern in our community and something needs to be done about it, and I do feel like, and I'm getting to this place where I feel like there needs to be some type of collective rule book. Okay, maybe like, black people's 10 commandments or something like that, that we give to boys and girls on what it is that at a base level we need them to be doing. Okay, because the fact that culturally there used to be rites of passage, right? Culturally, there used to be things that kept black communities together because their children were all being taught similar mindsets. And, for instance, back in the day, people thought education was great. People thought being progressive and having civil rights and women having the right to vote and control over their own bodies. Like at some point, us as a collective mostly, felt like we needed to progress to that place because that is what is most free. We felt like that's what's most right. Now we're regressing. And so everybody's going through this retardation shit where we don't have any way to inform everybody on what they need to know culturally. Because y'all take everything from black people and then y'all invade our spaces sometimes in a way that makes it so that we can't have like this space to explain. And my example of that is that white doctor that's suing because he's not on a database for black doctors. We're purposefully putting black people with black doctors because black people are mishandled by white doctors at large, especially black women having children. We have a high, maternal mortality rate. We have a high infant mortality rate in the black community because of how we're treated unfairly within the system of, hospitals and medicine and service and all of that shit, right? It's a systemic issue, right? We're not all learning the same shit anymore. There's no, there's no rites of passage that young people have to go through when they're black in America in order to teach them the things that they have to know. And I do, I don't know why we have to like take these victim blamey ass, we love to do victim blaming shit. We love to take the victim blaming aspect, right? Instead of us, really putting foot to ass on who these boys are, their families, what happened, what the fuck is going on. Y'all want to harass the family because you think they did not inform him of the dangers of hanging with large groups of only white people. Okay, you can hang around white people. It cannot be just one nigga in a bunch of white people. You can't be in a space outnumbered like that and think that you're going to be treated well. You're not. Most of the time, you're absolutely not. And if you're treated well, you should be scared. They're plotting on you. They're going to take your body. But an individual who was on Horn Island in Ocean Springs, Mississippi, gives an interesting take on what he allegedly believes happened to Nolan Wells, and then we'll move on to another story. But I had to watch other content creators talk about this in order for me to even recognize that it was a we think the white people did it situation.
I know that friend group that he was with is known for, I don't know if I can say this substance, but they're known for doing a certain substance. And some of us who have spoke to Nolan prior to the island date, we know that they were known for doing that substance. Another thing that we believe is what if they peer pressured him into doing something, and again, with a mixture of alcohol and...
This is allegedly, Leah. This is allegedly. And then Jesus just giving us his synopsis of what he feels. So allegedly, Jesus, you got to remember when you're getting on these panels, you got to say allegedly because somebody will try to wrap you up.
Allegedly, coming from his friend group that knows him very well. I'm talking about teammates that played with him, went to school with him, and folks that see him every weekend. Allegedly, we believe that maybe something just didn't go the way they wanted it to. Maybe they were trying to have a little bit too much fun, and it was just a mistake that they covered up. But I know for a fact that that friend group that they were with is known for a certain substance. So it does not surprise me whatsoever. And I'm almost certainly confident, allegedly, that there was that substance on that boat. I know we won't know till the body gets tested and all that, but, you know, it's what makes sense to me. I don't believe he tried to swim back to the island or anything like that. There's just a lot of things that doesn't make sense. Why did they leave him in the first place? Why didn't they make sure he had a ride home? If that was me and my friend group that I typically hang out with, I mean, Nolan, yes, was in that, but if it was me and my 4 close friends, I'm not leaving that island until I leave with my friend. Trying to have a little bit too much fun, and it was just a mistake.
To me, this is like the byproduct of y'all don't teach emotional honesty, integrity. Y'all don't teach caring about other people. And I'm talking about, you know, in general. Like, in general, niggas is missing an empathy chip. So you're not even thinking, child.
I know that friend group that he was with is known for...
Okay, yeah, that's the same clip. And then Rachel True spoke out. Okay, Rachel True says blaming Nolan Wells' parents for not warning him about white friends is internalized racism. It's victim blaming. It's victim blaming. It's like our favorite thing to do. It's our favorite thing to do. Oh my God, you were hurt? It's your fault. What do you mean? Oh my God, lady, you got your head busted? It's your fault. Oh my God, young black man, your white friends killed you? You should have known better. Actress Rachel True is weighing in on the conversation surrounding Nolan Wells. I scam you and steal from you? Bitch, you should have been smarter. In a series of posts, she argued, hold on, let's just read, okay? Rachel True said, my parents moved us from NYC to all white upstate New York and then explained that I couldn't go to school dances because they would lynch me. So no need to explain reality to me, a grown Gen X adult. Point the finger at the culprits, racist, or indifferent white parents and their kids. The amount of people in here blaming the black parents for letting their sons socialize with white kids instead of going after white parents for failing to teach their kids not to kill or abandon their black friend is weird and internalized racism. It absolutely is. And, you know, the way y'all defend abusers, it keeps people from seeing abusers clearly. And that goes from how white people cannot be safe, especially in large groups, and how men cannot be safe. And sometimes how pick-me women cannot be safe. Especially when they somebody mama. This shit is so fucking unfortunate and so infuriating and it's so sad. And I really feel like it's a byproduct of the world we're living in right now, where racism is being turned on its fucking head. We're now ignoring racism and we're mad at people when they call it out. And we have created a culture of white people calling woke something negative, right? Being awake, recognizing what the fuck's going on around you is now being hypersensitive. And we don't want anybody to be sensitive. My God, if people actually felt something, what would they do? If people felt shit, oh my God. If people felt for other people, if people felt for themselves, if people felt that shit was fucked up, my God, where would the world be if everybody actually felt something? And the main problem most of these motherfuckers is having is that they can't feel shit. Speaking of racism, and this is what be pissing me off, y'all, because it's never the people that say the dumb shit. People are gonna say dumb shit. And I'm inclined to, it's my prerogative to disagree and speak that out on my platform. That's the fuck I do. Okay? Just like it's everybody else's prerogative to talk they shit in the comments. But it just be so disappointing finding out how some of y'all think. Because listen to what this man, who, if you ask me,
A tallymackle. It's a dick on the phone. You telling me it's a dick on the phone. He said it's a dick on the phone. I said, so right now, if I look at the phone, there's going to be a dick in it.
Okay. I'm going to let him talk.
Love black women. But you all are really going to have to start exercising or getting in the weight room or decreasing the serving size or something. Because here's the thing. I know everyone's going to say, oh, you sound white as hell. You're an Uncle Tom. Guys like you don't even like black girls. That couldn't be further from the truth. Now, don't get me wrong. I've had my fair share of fun with white women, but I've never been with one exclusively. And that's because I prefer black women, but I want black kids. I want a black family. I want a black wife. But where I'm from, it is extremely hard to find a black woman who is in good physical shape. You know, she doesn't have to be a supermodel. She doesn't have to be as good looking as me. And she certainly doesn't have to be anywhere near as fit as me. But I mean, golly, you know, where I'm from here in downtown Knoxville, it is
Downtown Knoxville, he said?
incredibly hard to find a black woman who is literally just at a normal body weight. And I mean that literally. I'm not even saying in shape. I'm saying a normal fucking body weight. It is so, I'm 29 years old. My only option to date black women in shape is literally to go to the UT Knoxville campus. And those are just 18 to 22-year-olds. And I have no problem dating younger women. I actually think it's preferable, but I just don't want to have to deal with the stuff that comes along with dating a 18 to 22-year-old who's still in college. That's hella annoying, right? I know a lot of guys advocate for dating younger women, but if you've actually ever done it, it's just annoying dating a girl who's still in college while you're years removed from being in college. So, my black women, you know, most of us black men, we would prefer to be with black women, but y'all just need to exercise. Like, that's all you have to do. You don't have to do any crazy shit. Just literally, I don't know, go for fucking walks, do something. I love black women.
This is how a lot of y'all felt. I mean, is he wrong? Yes. Yes, he's fucking wrong. Yes, he's fucking wrong. First of all, what the fuck is a normal body size? You live in Knoxville, Tennessee. Tennessee at large is an unhealthy state. It's not just the black women that are eating fast food and not working out. And y'all should ask y'all's government about why they put so many fucking fast food chains in certain areas of the South, especially in places like Tennessee, Louisiana, Alabama, Texas. On any one given street, there are at least, I want to say, between 5 to 10 fast food restaurants, not a place that sells any fresh food. And a lot of these areas are not really that walkable. But in almost every major city, there's a black girls who run, black girls who bike, black people that walk. In nearly every city, you can just simply Google where to find the black fit people are. And I Googled it, and the AI overview told me that there's something called Knoxville Walkers, Girl Trek. So those are girls that walk, called Knoxville Walkers. Maybe you can look them up. Black Girls Do Bike, Knoxville, led by Cheryl Jolanda Thompson. This group offers a welcoming environment for women of color who share a passion for cycling, because apparently black girls like to cycle. I feel like this is something that you can Google, because there are women who work out. And what bothers me most when y'all do this is because a lot of the reasons why women, black women specifically, might have, unhealthy habits, it's because of their socioeconomic status, where they live, and environmental racism. People live in small towns that are not that walkable, right? A lot of places don't even have sidewalks or walking trails or biking lanes. A lot of places don't even have the infrastructure for people to just be outside walking if that's not something that they would normally do. And if they live somewhere that's extremely fucking hot, they're probably not going to want to be outside. And then again, what is actually made, accessible to them. So there's so many things about this that are fucking ignorant. But what's so bothersome to me is that there are people in the comments trying to, like, black people who are supposed to be smart, agreeing with this. And I don't understand why your base feeling is not, why is he generalizing all of the black women in a certain area? That seems fucked up. Why aren't y'all getting that part? That's the first thing I feel. Why the fuck are you generalizing all of the black women in this area when, I mean, here in New Orleans, listen, roller skating, shout out to that. I just saw there's a New Orleans skaters club. I'm about to go check that shit out. They got free classes on Mondays. I said, bet. We going skating on Monday, nigga. What? We have a walkers club. We have different walking clubs. There's like men and women walking clubs, black ones, white ones, everybody ones, gay ones. But you have to have the infrastructure for people to be outside. You have to have parks. You have to have walk lanes. You have to have food that's not intended to make them obese and sick so that they can keep going to the fucking hospital. And like, that's why it's important that governments care about their citizens. Because these things are systemic and they're not individual. And they're damn sure not the issue of one race of people. Because I promise you, there are a bunch of fat ass white people in Knoxville, motherfucker. Social media has made it so that you can always find a group of people that are on what you're on. And another thing, the lisp, the way his mouth is, all of that gives, you could work out as much as you want to, and you will still be unattractive because whatever the fuck is going on with your mouth. So to me, this is not about black women's body weight. This is about you being able to punch down on somebody because you already feel insecure about yourself. No matter how much you run, no matter how much you work out, you can't do nothing about your mouth, apparently. Comments I'm reading. We all know that there's not such things as all, but unfortunately, this is the experience that he is having. And if this were one of our sisters stating what her opinion and preference was, we would all respect it. Why are y'all always having a fight with women and trying to make sure that at every point we're giving the exact balanced amount of critique to men and women at all times? Why do y'all do that? That's what I meant. Y'all know who said that? Dondre. And that's what I'm talking about. Dondre, you act like you have sense sometimes, and then just in casual moments where you should be able to see the undertones of internalized racism in a comment, you make it a men-woman thing. You make it a men-woman thing. And then we have to validate his ignorant experience that generalizes all black women as fat and lazy. Because that's what this is. Massa gave you that one, bitch. Racist white people gave you the trope that black women are fat and lazy. Women that was big when they worked in fields and shit. What's another comment? Absolutely nothing wrong with what he's saying here. Clap hands. My comment was, I don't understand how y'all black asses in these comments talking about he's right when he's making a generalized statement about all black women in his area. And I'm going to keep talking about, it's not just a lisp. His jaw is off track. I wonder why his jaw is off track like that. You been detaching your motherfucking jaw, nigga?
Well, I tell you what, watch that dick sucking shit, because that'll go bad.
Call it what you want. A tabernacle. It's a dick on the phone. You telling me it's a dick on the phone. He said it's a dick on the phone. I said, so right now, if I look at the phone, there's going to be a dick in it.
Because it's given that your jaw has been detached.
But you all are really
Bond.
gonna have to start exercising or getting in the weight room or decreasing the serving size or something. Because here's the thing, I know everyone's gonna say, oh, you sound white as hell, you're an Uncle Tom, guys like you don't even like black girls. That couldn't be further from the truth. Don't get me wrong.
Meanwhile, let me see. Oh, that's another clip I wanted to play for y'all, and I want y'all to like give me y'all opinion on this, because I feel like the nigga is psychologically abusive, and he's trying really hard to not come off that way. Not this guy, another guy. I'm gonna play a clip for y'all, but I want to find this clip. Yeah, this is one of my favorite TikTokers to watch, right? And I want y'all to listen to what she had to say, because the reason why it's racism is because the reason why you feel like a body should look the way it does is because a white person decided that a body should look a certain way. A white person decided that. That's not just a health thing. It's not just a science thing. If you actually go and look it up, it was some white person that decided in the framework of a doctor, in the framework of like, actual, health and all of that. Let's come up with a way to document people's weight and what it should be and all of that. But most of the time it's a racist white man that came up with these things. And they've decided that because of the way they see things, that's how they should be. And that isn't necessarily the truth.
Woman, why is your tummy flat? As a woman, why is your belly flat? Those are some of the questions I get asked in this village every single time. It's so exhausting. Being skinny. Are you eating? Huh? Are you feeding well? Huh? And they are genuinely concerned. Not the kind of concern that is pretentious. It's so interesting how beauty standards vary. And for this village, being round-bodied, you must have a bit of stomach. You must have a bit of and that there is, oh, did you see her? She's so beautiful. Oh my God, she's so gorgeous. Huh? She must be having money. Well, me, I'm here. Every time people look at me like, oh my God, she must be struggling. She's broke. Like, oh. And that just comes to show you and remind you that beauty standards vary. Don't be hard on yourself. As a woman, why is your tummy?
Beauty standards vary. Don't be hard on yourself. That's what she said. How am I supposed to believe your opinion? You can't even spell my name right. Bonnie, we are suffering diabetes, obesity, and going to early graves in our community, and it's heavily linked to our weight. It has everything to do with our bodies. No, sweetheart. It's not. As I already explained, it's a systemic racial issue. It's not just our bodies. Did y'all hear about old girl from what's her name? Nara Smith. Nara Smith, who feeds her children only organic and raw food, and her little girl still got cancer. Didn't you hear what I said about what's actually accessible to poor people? Did you not hear that part? Do you not understand how Black people have systematically been pushed into the poor sector of our system, our hierarchical, I won't call it a caste system, but it's not, I think it is a caste system on some level, right? It's a caste system. Socioeconomic system. Yeah, she's a supermodel, but when she goes home, they think that something's wrong with her because in their community, women are supposed to be round. Because at one point, women having round bellies meant they were fertile, right? Women are supposed to have bigger legs and butt because we have to carry babies. So the bottom half of our bodies need to be reinforced, which is why we carry more weight and muscle in our legs and butt, and our butt and leg muscles are sometimes stronger than men's. Their upper body might be stronger than ours. I'm not saying not true. What we eat plays a part. What are y'all talking about? What are y'all talking about? Y'all are not listening. Y'all are not listening, man. It's wild to get up here and name how I'm talking about what is accessible to people, meaning what they are eating. Hello. When I talk about the fast food restaurants that are paid by the government to be in your neighborhood. When we talk about how hard it is to get fresh fruits and vegetables. Walkable cities. Everybody doesn't have to be in a gym, but if they live somewhere with sidewalks and parks and places where they would want to be outside and they had the infrastructure to be more physical, it would happen. In other places, people are more physical because their government, state and countrywide, however you want to look at it, province, however you want to look at it. In other countries where people are more healthy, they're healthy because their government doesn't allow bullshit in their food. And fast food isn't incentivized to be lined up in every poor person's neighborhood right next to the goddamn interstate. I don't understand, like, why this isn't, like, being heard. I exercise. Duh. Y'all might be new here, but I'm always telling people to work out and don't get surgery and to take care of your body. I'm always telling people that. Y'all must be new here. But when you make it about race, I'm going to take it to the systemic level at which it is actually taking place. What's actually happening is not just one individual person's decisions. It's also what their government and city puts around them, the people around them, the environment around them. Do y'all know how high groceries are right now? Groceries are expensive as fuck. It is much cheaper for niggas to go down to the Popeyes or the McDonald's and get something for $6 that's a whole meal versus the $100 they gonna have to spend or more if they go to the grocery store to get the things that it would take to even make the shit. Girl, it is given that they listening to misunderstand me. If you have been out the country, you would know it's how they feed us. And healthy food is expensive here. You know that all of that is where I'm coming from with it. You know I know. Because I've been to a few places in the world where as soon as I was eating their food, I started losing weight. Y'all want to blame Black women for every fucking thing. And that's what that's about. You blaming Black women for how their bodies hold on to cortisol levels in a country that has them sitting in the motherfucking, girl, sitting on a train with a bunch of white supremacists with all of their face covered up. Y'all want to argue about the type of foods that people are supposed to eat when we just trying to fucking eat. I'm not saying don't be healthy. I'm not saying don't work out. That's actually a part of what I speak about all the time. But this is not a moment for that. This is not about that. He made it about Black women as a whole in that area. And so, no, we're going to have a systematic conversation about it. We're not going to make an individual indictment on individual Black women because they're lazy and Black, because that is a racist stereotype. Everybody isn't just fat and lazy. And y'all do that to fat people all the time. And I've seen big girls that are very athletic, that play football, that fucking Lizzo, the way y'all acted about Lizzo up there with better breath management than half of you skinny assholes. Up there twerking and playing a goddamn flute, and y'all still went in on her weight consistently. Because y'all always think that if somebody is big, they unhealthy. Versus some of you skinny hoes that have a terrible diet. You're not being fair when y'all make black women responsible as a whole for shit like that. Y'all are not being fair. And you're also black people. So it's a problem for me when y'all are, you know, so informed in one way, but ill-informed in all of the other ways. Like, you know about nutrition and hoes being lazy, but you don't know about the systemic issues. You don't know about the government incentivizing fast food restaurants to be all, like, in every fucking lower state. You don't know about none of that, though. Fuck out of here, man. Don't be talking to me crazy in these comments when I'm laying it out there. I'm laying it out there. We talking about it all, but we're not gonna just blame black women and call them fat and lazy in here. That's not what we're gonna fucking do, especially as a fine motherfucker that work out often. Okay? Everybody don't need to be fucking skinny and everybody don't need to be in a gym every day. They just need to have healthier food options and more options to be outside walking. And also climate change would help with that. If y'all cared about fucking climate change, maybe it wouldn't be so fucking hot outside and people would want to be outside frolicking and being physical and all of that. Maybe if they wasn't getting rid of all of the male trees, so we're over creating fucking pollen and everybody allergies fucked up, so now I can't even be outside in the goddamn grass. I'm itching. Let's move on. Do I have moderators? Please block some of these people because I'm not about to keep arguing with dumb hoes in my comments all day, but I do enjoy cursing y'all out when I need to. Like the video, I appreciate y'all. Like niggas out here just being unhealthy for no reason at all. Like you just fell out the sky. You're lazy black people after working like slaves. We gotta remind you in some type of way. Look at you. You're a lazy nigger. Look at you. No matter what we do to you, no matter how much we come up with science that shows your particular stressors cause a lot of your issues, you're still a lazy nigger. Okay, so y'all, let's get into this book. So I don't know about y'all, but I love a good book, girl. And I read this book YesterYear. I listened to it on Audible. It was real good. And I was listening to some of the commentary on TikTok, and a lot of people felt like it fell flat at the end. And that this was like a first novel by this author. Carol Claire Burke. But I want to tell y'all about the book because I feel like it's very prevalent and I feel like maybe I understood it in a way that people didn't understand. And I'm going to tell y'all the point and then we're going to get into it. So the point of this is child abuse. It is from the POV of a mentally unwell woman who is a content creator and all of a sudden ends up in 1855, okay? But it is about child abuse. It's about child exploitation. And it's also about how people's mentalities about life, their fears, their judgments of other people, their inability to be honest with themselves and the people around them is extremely harmful, especially when people decide to have children. Because what they cannot handle in life, they will then turn around and it will be a weapon against a child. The inability to be emotionally honest, to be honest in how you feel, to be honest with your children, to expect honesty. And yes, Anne Hathaway bought the rights to this movie, bought the rights to the book, so it's going to become a good movie, I'm sure. I can't wait. I hope that they turn it around, I just want them to like elevate off of it because it's really good, the book, but I know they changed things and I just want it to be better than it is in the book because there is a back and forth that's happening in the book that's very confusing and they're going to have to go about doing this in a very specific way in order for it to make sense because even reading the book, you're really confused and that's on purpose. Like I had to listen to this audiobook like 2, maybe 3 times in parts because I was like, am I missing something? Like, that's how I felt most of the time. I felt like I was missing something. But YesterYear by Cairo Claire Burke is a satirical debut novel about a trad wife influencer who wakes up in 1855 forced to live the harsh pioneer life she only pretends to promote online, exploring themes of fame, faith, and performance of womanhood, which is what I'm always talking about up here. The book follows protagonist Natalie Heller Mills as she navigates this new reality, which is presented as a mix of time travel, a twisted reality show, or a nightmare. While also flashing back to her life as a social media star, it's a New York Times bestseller and a Good Morning America Book Club pick, praised for its dark humor and sharp commentary on influencer culture and modern womanhood. So, yes, I feel like it's absolutely missing the child abuse part. I feel like that's the part that people are not getting. To me, this is a book that was written for my trad wife mom to see how she felt about other people, how she felt about herself, all of her prejudices, all of her trad wife, God, family first mindsets were extremely harmful to me and my siblings, and she abused us because she cared more about how things, I think I'm saying it wrong. She cared more about how things looked than how they actually are. And I'm always pointing that out to y'all because people do that shit every day. You care about the image, but you don't care about what's actually happening. So what ends up happening is you don't have to change your behavior, right? Because you don't really care about what's happening in real life. You just care about how everybody sees it. That's all the thing that matters. So the protagonist, Natalie Heller Mills, a successful influencer who promotes a traditional Christian homesteading lifestyle on her YesterYear ranch, okay? She is suddenly transported from her modern life to the brutal reality of 1855, where she must confront the stark differences between her online persona and the actual hardship of the 19th century farm life. I'm about to get into spoilers. So if you don't want to know about the book and what's going to happen, y'all can go ahead and click off and come back because I do want to spoil it. Okay. So the novel is satire on influencer culture, the performance of authenticity, right? So because y'all don't really like authentic people for real. Y'all think y'all do, but y'all don't. Because the way I've had people, in a way I have to monitor my own emotions because of the way people will use my emotions against me. So there's a level of stoicism that I have to keep about myself, even when I want to be vulnerable, because people are not safe. No matter how much I'm trying to create a safe space here, you see how people still pop up in my comments giving unsafe as fuck, right? So the narrative uses multiple timelines alternating between Natalie's life as an influencer and her experiences in the past. But this is basically what it is, y'all. This woman grew up with a certain level of cognitive dissonance that I feel like a lot of white women, but specifically women that, you know, are so hell-bent on being a certain type of woman, and God wants me to do this and God wants me to do that, and I'm going to follow a man and I'm going to do what I have to do to be with this man. This lady was at Harvard University, decides to marry and have a baby with a trust fund child that's a bum. Okay, hold up. Let me get my phone because I did make some notes. I made some notes because I wanted to remember certain things. Okay. So what's actually happening, y'all, is in the past, or in her influencer life, she had a whole production team. It seemed as if she was doing the pioneer life, but there are 2 or 3 nannies. There's a production team. There are actual, modern electronics and appliances in the kitchen, but they're all well hidden. So it looks like she's all doing it from scratch. Basically showcasing that when people are acting like they have time to be an influencer, which is a fucking job, and also be a homesteader, going back into time because you think that's when life was so much better, when we didn't have any hot water or electricity and shit, which honestly I feel like is a step too far. I don't want to go that far back. I feel like we need to be integrating things. And I think because Americans don't have they don't travel a lot and they don't have imagination sometimes. And I'm just talking about in general. You don't see how it doesn't have to be either or, and that we can integrate these things in a way that works for everybody. You can integrate, technology and all of that, and also have reverence for the land and for the environment, and not building things that work against the environment, because eventually it just breaks up the buildings and the things you build anyway. Seems smarter to learn how to work with the land. Stop building against shit. Stop building in places that hurricanes are going to come and kill everybody. Work with the environment. Y'all don't want to do that though. So we got to do, these huge, one way or the other type of things, right? Yes, it does. It is giving Ballerina Farm. Yes. And the author said that, she know that she was somewhat of an inspiration. That's what the author said when I was listening to her on TikTok. But the woman describes herself as a good motherfucking Christian woman. She's actually a terrible person. She's always comparing herself to other people. She has a college roommate named Renee, who she spends most of her life comparing herself to subconsciously, because she sees her as the liberal, crazy women that hate her, right? These liberal, hater-ass women that just hate her. And a lot of people like to feel like that, but it's you feeling bad for yourself, because that's easier than you taking accountability and control of the situation and repairing and being a better person. That's too hard. So it's easier for you to be like, right, I'm the bad guy. I do everything wrong, right? No, it's not me, bitch. It's you. She's terrible. She's a terrible person. She has all of these kids. She doesn't really care about those kids, which I tell y'all all the time, that you could tell that people don't care about their kids, because first of all, having too fucking many of them is a signifier that you don't care about them. Because what makes you think you're going to have the time and the energy to be emotionally supportive and available for 6 fucking children at one time without a real community? And there was no real community. You're paying people. They're acting like they're, growing their own fruits and vegetables. They're not. They're hiring Mexican farm hands. These are the same people that vote MAGA, but they're also, and I said this, back before he won the election, and we were talking about the farmers and all of those people that are these down home white men, that have their farms and they're doing their, homestead lifestyle shit and all of that, whatever you want to call it. It's them being down home and rural, and them voting for Trump because they feel like he has their best interests at heart. What he ends up doing, bankrupts most of y'all's farms, because I don't understand why y'all don't see the historical pattern of needing other people to come into this country and work. And then once you've decided they're no longer useful, you throw them away, you criminalize them, and then you deport them at large numbers. Y'all do this repeatedly. This has been done repeatedly in this country and in other ones. This is a pattern of behavior that y'all do all the fucking time. And it's extremely annoying, but it shows you the hypocrisy. Right? The hypocrisy of these people that they put on for social media in a certain manner, right? Oh, we're conservative and we don't like all those things. And in real life, doing all of the shit that they judge other people for doing. Okay? The lady described her mindset as a flickering light bulb. So I want y'all to keep that in mind, because at some point at the end of the book, she starts glitching, like her going back and forth between the times, and it makes you think that she actually went back in time. She did not go back in time. Okay, that's why I said I was going to spoil it for y'all. She did not go back in time, y'all. What actually happened is she had her first set of kids, and she was the influencer, and she sexually assaulted one of the women that worked for her, this woman named Shannon. And now that I listened to the end of the book again, it seemed as if they made it seem like Shannon was a grown-ass woman that came to this lady house, peeped how she was faking and fronting, worked for her, and then fucked on her husband. That is not what happened. When you actually listen to what Shannon says, it sounds like she did not have any type of relationship with that man. That man thought they had a relationship because he was so starved of any type of emotional connection, because this lady don't like him and he don't like this lady. At the end of the book, they both said that they really hate each other. And that's obvious. This man was a bum, and this woman just wanted a man for the image of it. If you ask me, I think there is something to this. Remember when I tell y'all about the DL women, the women that are trying so hard to live this perfect womanhood lifestyle? What's going on? to me, I think this lady was a closeted lesbian that hadn't figured it out yet because, and this is just my opinion, the way they explained it, right? She feels like Shannon is having a affair with her husband because he's like, you know, I talked to Shannon and I'm moving to New York with her. And, you know, we spent time together and we talked. And really what happened was the husband is sitting on fucking Facebook downloading every conspiracy theory he can find without ever looking into it. And he just says this shit to people because he thinks it makes him sound smart or contrarian or deep to know all of these, you know, conspiracy theories, right? And so eventually this young woman, Shannon, who I believe was 18, if I heard correctly, because the mama at the end of the book, she was like, you know, Shannon has to be in her late 30s by now. And that was like 20 years ago. And to me, that sounded like, so Shannon was 18 years old is what it sounded like. If Shannon is in her late 30s, by the time we get to the end of the book, when her oldest daughter shows up as a grown woman, it's been 20 years. Yeah, that sounds like the girl was not even like grown. And they made it seem like she was a grown adult woman, right? So Shannon said that, no, we just talked. And you don't talk to him and you think he's so stupid, so you don't have any conversations with him. And it's because in her mind, she really does think he's an idiot and she just wants to, you know, live this image, live this life that she's been taught she should live by her mom, who was kind of cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs because the mom left the husband the mom left, cheated and then left the husband and didn't want to be with the husband anymore and told everybody that the husband wasn't with them anymore. So it made it seem like the husband was dead. So they never had any contact with their dad ever again after that. But teaching those children to disassociate like that created an issue in them where they have a problem with reality. Surprise, surprise, y'all. Y'all having issues with recognizing the truth of situations and recognizing what reality is versus y'all's fucking feelings. It's harmful. It's harmful because it's y'all disassociating because you don't want something to be right. You don't want it to be true. So you go against it, right? And what that creates in your family dynamic is you're teaching your children how they don't have to be one with reality either. They don't have to recognize the truth of a situation either. They can just go to La La Land in their fucking mind and abuse all these goddamn children just because they decided to make some shit up in their minds. So when she found out with Shannon and the husband, they had this conversation and Shannon went in on her. Let me see if I could find. Okay. All right. So in the novel, Natalie assaults her husband's lover and employee Shannon by strangling her. However, on a subsequent television interview, Shannon characterizes this attack as a sexually charged assault, leaving readers to debate whether Shannon lied to damage Natalie's image. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, I don't even think that Shannon actually had a relationship with the husband. I forgot his name. I don't think she had a relationship with the husband for real. I think the husband felt that way because he's delusional and starved of attention. And I think that actually Natalie, the main character, assaulted her because you're DL. Okay. Some readers believe Shannon exaggerated or entirely fabricated the sexual aspect. And I'm like, you can't trust Natalie's version of things because Natalie's version of things, once we get to the end of the book, we realize her versions of things aren't correct. So you can't believe her version of it. You have to listen to what Shannon said because Shannon is the person that's outside of this fabricated world she's created for herself. So to me, whatever Shannon said is probably the truth. The book's ending takes Shannon's television claims at face value, but leaves Natalie as an unreliable narrator, making the true nature of the assault a major point of division. But no, she assaulted the girl. The girl was, I believe, and she was like, I was in my underwear. Like, she's on top of me and I'm in my underwear. Like, it was something like her, my pants were, she said, I just remember my pants being down. Something like that, y'all. I was, I read it a few times, but I was in and out on that part. But yeah, she basically said that the lady assaulted her and she was, exposed in some way. And yeah, so I thought that was very, very interesting because I think that a lot about women that, pretend like they really want these, oh, I want to live back when I didn't have any rights again. Oh my God, I want to go back to when I didn't have a right to vote. I want to go back to when I had to churn my own butter until my fingers bled. I want to go back to when I washed my own clothes in the river and it took forever. Like I want to go back to that. I want to go back to being in nature and possibly getting diseases and not taking any medication for it. Like I want to go back to dying of sepsis. Like I want to go back to that time. Y'all gotta be so fucking for real, bruh. It's like y'all don't know how to go back and get some things and bring them up with you. So for instance, like I don't know why y'all don't like the black girl, because I don't think the black girls who do this are trad wives. I think they just like the era. They like the style. Like that one black girl whose husband, she was divorced her husband stole her stove. Okay? She wasn't never acting like she's not an influencer. She just liked to dress in 1940s and 50s dresses. And I'm not going to lie, it's one of my favorite style eras as well. Like the full skirts and shit. Oh my God, I love that. I look great in that shit. Okay, that's prime time for big tits. Okay, and a bit of a high waist. That's a great time for a bitch. Okay, listen, I love the style. I even like the way older appliances and shit like that look. Okay, so I don't begrudge the women. I like, do your thing. Whatever era you liked, you can go back and get the things, the aesthetic things about those eras that you really like. But to act as if we need to go back to those places as if we did not grow from them for a fucking reason is where I get off the bus with y'all, because I can't. Child, listen. So at the end of the book, and this one about to kill it for y'all. When the end of the book happens, what ends up happening is she has this second set of children. The oldest of the second set is Mary, and then there's a child named Maeve, and then there are two boys, and I don't even remember what their names are. But because she was having these children at an older age without any help from a hospital, some of them are disabled. One of them doesn't even speak. So they haven't been teaching the children anything. And this is what I be talking about when I say a lot of y'all are... a lot of the pick-me women are misogynist, and something is really wrong with y'all with the way y'all try to control men. One of the things that she felt in this book, y'all, is she felt that her husband was too feminine because he wanted to be a teacher. At some point, he came to her and he's like, I want to be a teacher. I want to, teach, young kids at school. He wanted to do kindergarten teaching. And she felt like that wasn't manly enough because y'all apparently think teaching is feminine now. So how are the boys going to be smart if they don't see smart men around them? How? How are they going to be smart, y'all? They need to be smart. They can't just be brutes. You do understand stupid, strong niggas are not safe, right? But there are a lot of y'all that have that mentality. A lot of women that pick apart men's like actual masculinity and the things that they may want to do. If it doesn't fit into like a certain thing, you're going to feminize it. Which is why niggas shouldn't give a fuck. Like, okay, bitch, I guess I'm feminine. I'm about to be a teacher, though. You'll be okay. Like, more people need to have that mentality about the things they choose to do for themselves instead of letting people bully them out of what they may want to do with their lives, right? Because to me, she bullied that man out of a life that would have been more meaningful for him because he did not teach their children. He didn't. Like I said, one of them kids looked like they wasn't even speaking. Another one was special needs and needed help. And the oldest one, Mary, was exhausted and tired. And that's the second set of kids. There's a whole nother set of kids that Clementine is the very oldest child. And she's the one that took her siblings and left right before her mom decided to take out all of the modernity from the home, which is all the modern appliances, all the modern things about the home. She took out all of those things and had them people living in a actual 1865 situation. Had the man who can't do shit because he's a rich bum going out into the woods to go find food and all of that type of shit. The kids are starving at some point. The older kids actually stayed in the vicinity so that they can help the younger kids. The younger kids don't even know. They think the men that live around them are their fucking neighbors. But no, they're their older brothers that are going to the grocery store and getting food and then giving it to the dad. Because every day the dad would get up and go into the woods and act like he's about to go and forage. And that's why I can't stand when all of these niggas Marceau and all of them using euphemisms like y'all niggas is going out into the fucking woods to get food and all of that. You're not doing that. Stop acting like that. Your wife goes to the fucking grocery store and that shit is exhausting. I don't see you going down to the Sam's like my daddy used to do. Going to the grocery store is exhausting, y'all. That was my dad's job. Okay? Going to the grocery store was my dad's job. That shit was exhausting. My daddy used to go to Sam's on Saturdays and tear it the fuck down. Okay? But y'all want to act so bad like y'all niggas is out here foraging and going kill animals for food, and that's not what the fuck y'all are doing. Y'all are so delusional. A lot, and that's another thing about this book I appreciate it. The way y'all want to go back to a time where the shit was so hard that niggas worked so that y'all wouldn't have to work that hard anymore because that life is not easy. To ignore all of the advances that make these things easier is stupid. You're just making your life harder for no fucking reason. Girl, anyway, them children was starving. Nobody was teaching them. The older siblings were staying around. And Clementine, it seemed as if she had to wait for her grandfather, who was rich, to run out of money. Because he was running for president or something like that, and it didn't happen. Or running for government, something. It didn't work out. But the daddy was rich. The daddy's daddy was rich and gave them the money to buy the house and was really like keeping them up. Because the influencer money wasn't paying. Even with all of them millions of followers, she had gotten all of those followers because her husband was in the manosphere and was posting all of her fake ass videos. And so all of the manosphere niggas started following her because they're getting their, you know, their fix of this fake thing where y'all think that most women would be happy in the fucking 50s doing all of this extraneous fucking work just to get a little bit of butter or a little bit of soap or a little bit of sugar when you can just go down to the goddamn general store and get it. Even in the 20s, they had general stores in the neighborhood. People did not have to make everything, but y'all think that they have to make everything. So you got these kids making fucking soap and all kind of shit. It was very delusional. And once again, y'all, it's fucking child abuse. So the oldest sister eventually was able, once the grandfather ran out of money, to get the police to agree with her about everything that had been happening so that she could get a court order to go and get her siblings because they were being neglected and abused in her parents' custody. So she went and got them fucking kids. What she said, liberal women diagnose in the absence of what they don't understand. That's the way they want to hate liberal people for every fucking thing. The way they've decided that liberal people are the problem is so fucking ridiculous to me. And don't get me wrong, there are some groups of liberal people that I don't fuck with neither, but that's the point. This is not about one specific group of people. This is about what's right and what's wrong. And that boils down to behaviors and characteristics. And not just labeling people in groups and thinking that that's all you need to care about is whether somebody is red or blue or conservative or you know, liberal or Democrat or Republican. Like, that shit is so fucking stupid. That binary thinking to where you feel like it's either or and all of this shit, man, please. There's a lot of cognitive dissonance and emotional dishonesty. That lady did not want to be a mother. She didn't actually want to be a mother. Her children were extremely exhausted and tired of her because she wasn't really a good mom. And when her producer, Shannon, came in, Shannon was the one that showed her that you can get even better content if you would actually do some of this shit with your daughters, with your kids. But no, she's so frustrated with her kids. And then using them for the content, putting them on social media. And that's the problem with a lot of y'all. Apparently, the Mother Nisha girl is still getting cussed out on my timeline. The bum-ass conspiracy theory dad on the manosphere, right? To me, that's what y'all do in white culture. In black culture, you hotep. You do manosphere shit and you hotep. And for white men, you do manosphere shit and you incel. You know what I'm saying? Country music and shit. Yeah, the point is child abuse and child exploitation. When her daughter Clementine came back, she asked her mom, because she had never been to the fucking ocean. She said, when I finally left, because she went to stay with her grandmother and her aunt that gave her a regular life, that gave the kids a regular life. And they was like, none of the kids will ever be okay. That's what they said about the upbringing that these children have. None of the kids will ever really be okay because of this upbringing. Because of I'm going to make everybody suffer for this image. But she said, why did you never want to be a part of it? And I think that says a lot about the way a lot of evangelical white people have decided to center themselves, like to section themselves off from everybody. People, period, that section themselves off from everybody. You have to be very careful of that, because what it is you creating boogeymen at every turn. You making it seem as if everybody is the worst person in the world. And I ain't gonna lie, sometimes for myself, it feels like that. And I have to be reminded through talking to some of y'all and being around people in real life that everybody is not a fucking psychopath. And everybody's not a bird, or, everybody doesn't have this low vibrational way of thinking. And I really appreciate that, because it can feel so, oh my God, I hate it here. And I feel like I'm not the only one that has been feeling that way. It has been really hard. I really would encourage everybody to find good therapists, because you need somebody to talk to. You need somebody to bounce your feelings and your thoughts off of. You need help sometimes, because you really don't want to end up hurting the people around you because of the things that you can't deal with within yourself. And to me, the biggest part about Natalie is Natalie allowing for all of her ignorances, all of her judgments of other people, which were really just a fear of not being accepted. Like, she just had to be judgmental to everybody. Her daughter asked her, why can't you be kind? Why is it so hard for you to be kind? And I feel that way about a lot of people. I feel that way about men. I feel that way about a lot of women that I believe are like pick-me's, right? I feel that way about, a lot of white people that, racism is their cornerstone, like, why is it so hard for you to be kind? The ones that follow us around, the people that got to make us the issue at every turn, like, why, it's exhausting. But her own kids were like, why can't you be kind? You kept us away from things. She was like, when I saw the ocean for the first time, the daughter got very emotional when she talked about that, because she's talking about how instead of her parents showing her the world, they hid her from it. They hid it from her, and it was abusive, and it was dark, and it was oppressive. And even though this is a book, this is, like, to me, very realistic to how a lot of people are being raised. Y'all want to know why a lot of these kids, a lot of these people are fucked up the way they are, is because they're not emotionally honest. They don't like their families. They don't like their kids. They don't like the life that they've decided to live, that they feel like makes them a better woman than you. Whatever makes them feel like a better woman than you isn't making them happy, which is why hating you and hating, anything outside of themselves becomes the thing to do. But everything is a projection. Everything is a projection. But I did like at the end of the day, at the end of the book, that the older sister came and got them fucking kids. Because the way she expressed herself, thinking that she was pregnant and I can't be pregnant here again. Girl, you didn't already have 4 fucking kids without no electricity since the first set of kids left. And now you want to sit up here and I can't get pregnant here. When Clementine said, Mom, you're not pregnant. You're going through menopause. Like, you're 50. You're 50. And I think the daddy said, yeah, we were lucky when you had Maeve at 40. Yeah, absolutely crazy. Demonized the 18-year-old girl, right? Infantilized the grown-ass man because you didn't want to let him go. And then at the end of the fucking book, turns to this man and says, we really should have divorced a long time ago. You think, crazy-ass bitch? You think? Yeah, y'all. It was a good book, though. I absolutely enjoyed reading it. I enjoyed the monologues. But it is definitely gonna be a good movie, I think. I think it's gonna be a really, really good movie. Series whenever they put it together. Okay, I'm done with that. I hope y'all enjoyed my little breakdown of this book, just in case, And let's pick up right here because Deb Atney responded to the brat, and the brat saying that boot camp show, you know, she stole that shit from her. So let's hear what Deb Atney has to say.
We did have something there that we wanted to do, which was a boot camp show. And we actually filmed a part to see the reaction of the people and what would happen. But the network denied us. Now, the boot camp that me and DeBrat was talking about, it was going to be a real camp, like a real boot camp. Like we had went and scouted out the housing, where the boot camps was going to be, where they was going to be marching, like all the whole boot camp style thing. We did do that.
When you say it was going to be a real boot camp, because people will argue, well, Deb's house is like a boot camp because those girls.
Deb's house was not a boot camp. Let me just explain that to you. Let me just say this to you.
Okay, hold up.
Deb's house was you against you, you versus you. Deb's house was a show for a lot of years, and that's how this all began, even us talking about it. You know, one of my biggest problems, I don't know how to keep my mouth shut. Like, I want to invite everybody into, we did have something there that we wanted to do, which was a boot camp show. And we actually filmed a part to see the reaction of the people and what would happen. But the network denied us. Now, the boot camp that me and DeBrat was talking about, it was going to be a real camp, like a real boot camp. Like we had went and scouted out the housing, where the boot camps was going to be, where they was going to be marching, like all the whole boot camp style thing. We did do that.
When you say it was going to be a real boot camp, because people will argue, well, Deb's house is like a boot camp because those girls.
Deb's house was not a boot camp. Let me just invite everybody into, when I have an idea, I want to invite everybody in. And this whole thing, I talked to.
That's very interesting wordage. When I have an idea, I want to invite everybody in. I hear you, bitch. I hear you.
The brat about now. This is my life, period. This is something that I like doing. I love building artists. That's something that I love doing. I love the brat because me and the brat was just so close. We was going through a lot of stuff. I don't kind of want to be there to talk about both of our personals at that time and things that we were going through. We were being hit with stuff that we need to make some more money. Let's come up. And I said, I came up with the camp, the boot camp. At that time, it wasn't called Deb's House because it wasn't about that. This one here, there was no woman versus another woman. But there also was a thing, and I don't want to get so confused up and bottled up in this stuff, that as I think about it, because mind you, this was some years ago. Impossible for Brett to not know that I was doing Deb's house because the Brett was supposed to come and invite everybody was supposed to come on to be a judge. That's facts. You can get the network, call them, do whatever.
Yeah, even like, so to me, I could tell y'all that even in the cadence of the way that she's speaking, I don't believe her. Her speech is so all over the place and she's repeating shit and not speaking in complete sentences, which makes me feel like she's trying to figure out a way to lie. That's what comes to my mind.
She was supposed to be the judge of that show. But with her doing the Brett and Judy show, and as I started reading my emails, I'm remembering when Brett didn't even really want to do that show. That was me going at them because they was trying to be dirty to get them to really do the show, to be dirty. So at that time, they could go after Judy. And it was a lot of stuff that was going on. I don't really know Judy, so I don't really want to discuss a lot of that stuff either. But there was a lot of rumors that was going on during that time. And the producers at that time were messy, okay? And I remember going in and going off on them. If you do something to her, you hurt her, you make her look bad, da-da-da-da. She know how all.
So Brad is lying. You was protecting Brad. Something ain't right about Judy, but you don't know about it and you don't want to put it out there, but something they say wasn't right. And I was protective of Brad. Girl, you a pimp down to your soul, girl.
That went down. Well, she never got to come on to my show, Deb's House, to be a guest. She knew all about the show. I called her. As far as her saying she see me and I said hi to her, I was supposed to come on to be a judge. That's facts. You can get. As far as her saying she see me and I said hi to her and she just did whatever and not want to talk, wow, I don't remember that.
Right, because that would have been seen as disrespect. And if you had let that slide, that means you was soft. So you got to bring that up because we got to make sure that everybody know Brat wouldn't have just played you like that and that wouldn't have just went like that. Nuh-uh. So she lying about that because you couldn't play me like that because I'm who I am. You ain't about to ignore me if I speak to you, so I don't even remember that. Okay, girl.
What I do remember is I thought the brat was still mad at me because I never attended her wedding. I had COVID. And I never came to the wedding.
That would mean that y'all hadn't had any conversations from the wedding until now, which doesn't make any sense because Brad said that y'all was on the phone planning, doing the pitch deck for the show that you eventually got greenlit for WeTV. Which you now trying to act like that wasn't a competition show. That wasn't what I was really trying to do. That's a different show. She was supposed to come and be, girl, you're lying.
But I was at the baby shower. I was there. You know.
So now we got to know that you was there for her, right? This is a reminder. It's very, very pimp shit because I'm fucked up. I'm wrong, but I got to remind you what I did for you. So we don't focus on the fact that I'm fucked up. We focus more on the fact that I have done things for you. How you going to treat me like this? How you going to try to hold me accountable? How you going to tell the truth about me and not let everybody think that I wouldn't do this? When I didn't been there for you, bitch. I defended you. I showed up for other stuff.
So, I have texted her. She's not lying. I did text her, say I missed her, but she never did hit me back, and I didn't understand this. In a million years, Lauren, I could be the dumbest person on earth, but this is not Brad's doing, okay?
Oh, now we're blaming Judy for it. So now I'm that's what I felt immediately. I could be wrong, y'all. Let me shut up.
And it was something that was coerced, you could tell. Why all these years later, this is second season, I'm about to do a third season, and you're just now coming up with I stole the show. Why? Now let's even go back. You called Brett that you brought him into this, which you, as far as the saying she see me and you called Brett that you brought him into this, which you wrong, because it wasn't Brett. Brett had nothing to do with this. At that time, there was other people that was in the network that was no longer there. Because there was a whole big issue about the black and white thing of WeTV. Everybody knows that, okay? He had nothing to do with this. But you made a phone call to him. Why would you not have said, oh, Deb's about to call you? Let me get Deb on the phone right now and call her. You have my numbers. My numbers didn't change. I have all the same numbers, okay? They didn't change. I'm so tired of people using this thing of stealing as an excuse every time, and that's because you've
been accused of stealing multiple times. That's what it's giving, Deb. That is giving you've been stealing, bitch. Listen, I don't trust nobody that want to be a manager. I've been in the music industry. If you went from doing illegal shit to being a manager of artists, nah. That's not gonna feel right to me.
I never come in and defend myself when a person says something. You called Brett that you brought him into this, which you're wrong. But to say that I stole a show, he's wrong. They denied that show. That show was denied years ago. So why now come up? When I came up with Deb's House, I let Brett know. I didn't just do that to them. I love it. You know how bad this is piercing me? This hurts.
You called
This
to let her
it
know
hurts.
that you were pitching Deb's house?
I'm sorry, honey?
I said you said you let her know. So you mean you called the brat?
I told her about Deb's House. I told her. I didn't say that I stole a show. He's wrong.
I was watching TV. I just happened to see Deb's house, and I was like, let me just see what this is about. The network wanted to do a boot camp show. So we pitched it to them. Me, Deb, whatever happened, they ended up saying they wanted to do something else after that. So I had been holding on to this idea for a long time or whatever, and I had been talking back and forth to Deb. I got all the receipts. I hit him one day like, yo, me and Deb need to talk to you about doing a boot camp show. You know what I'm saying? So he goes, oh, she pitching it to me today.
Without you?
Damn. It's kind of the same idea. It's kind of the same thing we pitched in the deck together. Some ideas were hers and some are mine. I'm not taking full credit for it, but it was our ideas collectively put together to build this boot camp. And I just didn't think she would go pitch it without me. I felt so stupid. I couldn't say shit to this man. I was watching.
And that's like that feeling when she said I felt stupid. That's why I feel like you can't have the attitude that just because somebody got fucked over, they deserved it because they got fucked over. Meaning that if you was better, you wouldn't have got fucked over. That's not how that working. Y'all gotta be fucking for real. Y'all gotta be fucking for real. At the end of the day, we gotta like understand the emotions behind things, y'all. Because the emotions, especially when it comes to like, you got to believe your feelings. That's what I really mean. Because your feelings aren't facts, but also your feelings inform you. And you need to inquire and you need to understand. I'm going to say it like that. Now, before I get out of here, girl, I have one more thing. First of all, I want to play this.
The world is...
Okay, we're going to play some content creator shit right quick because I want to play for y'all, but another one I want to have a conversation and I want y'all opinion on. Because I think the nigga is being psychologically abusive, but y'all know y'all be saying I'm biased because I hate niggas and shit. So y'all let me know what y'all think when we get to that. Okay, so let's get into this. Y'all ready? I say, are y'all ready? Where are the bubbles? Where are the hearts? Heart me, goddammit, heart me. Hearten me, hearten me.
So much harder on victims than they are on abusers. It's shocking to me. When you're going through the hardship and you want to talk about it, then everybody is telling you that you're playing victim. When you're finally able to get out of it and you want to process everything that happened and how you ended up in that situation, everybody says that you're stuck in the victim mentality. So you end up having like this really big thing that happened to you that you can't really talk about because it makes people feel uncomfortable, and people don't want to feel uncomfortable, so they'd rather avoid that. And then they call you a survivor and they tell you you're doing great. An abuser, what do? Like say sorry, they apologize, they write a letter, people stand up and say that that's not the version of them they knew, and suddenly everything is better. Because everyone deserves a second chance, right? One bad choice or a couple of bad choices shouldn't ruin their whole life. Meanwhile, they absolutely ruined your entire life, and you've been trying to pull yourself out of a hole since then, but nobody wants you to talk about it. Interesting how that works. The world is so much harder on victims than they are on abusers. It's shocking to me.
Okay, so y'all see who that is at the bottom. To Sheila Justice. That came across my timeline, and I was like, shh, girl, you ain't never fucking lie. You ain't never fucking lie. Okay? Okay, hold up. There you go.
Lever girls and...
So, this young man, okay, because I'm guessing he a young man, right? Meaning he ain't my age. He younger than me. I feel like I seen him from saying shit that makes sense. But this one right here, I don't know how I feel about this, y'all.
Lover boys are often viewed as innocent and even virtuous victims of the romance game, but I'd argue the exact opposite. I believe they are among the most wicked and nefarious. Typically, when you're building a romantic connection, the goal is just that, connection. And in connecting, people say, we're getting to know each other. The intimacy of a long-term relationship is often measured by how well they know each other. If your partner doesn't know you, people are gonna look at that weird. How does this relate to the lover girls? I'm gonna give you my personal anecdote. I am the most transparent person you will ever find. If I think it, if I feel it, I will let you know. And in my experience, I've told women exactly what role they play in my life, which is...
So I know niggas is out here thinking that they doing new shit. But it's always been a thing for men to tell you that they don't really want a relationship and then commence to doing relationship shit with you. And then over time, after they've been doing all of this love bombing relationship type shit, and you start to inquire on, you know, is the relationship getting more serious? What they will do is then act like you're crazy. Like they haven't been putting in a certain amount of effort into the relationship for you to feel a certain way. And then because they gave you what they feel is the truth from the beginning, right? Their honesty. It absolves them of accountability or responsibility for their cruelty towards you. And this is what I be talking about when I say that what men sometimes do be mind games on another level, and it's very nefarious. And listen, if you're not sharp, bitch, you might missed it. You might missed it, girl. I'm going to let him finish.
not a significant one. I've told women that this is not exclusive. I've told women I only want to fuck you. And without fail, the lover girls who are supposed to be innocent and virtuous ignored.
Now, where did you get that lover girls were innocent and virtuous? Why is it this? Who said that lover girls were virtuous? Like those words that he used, I don't understand where those words came from. Because why do I feel like you putting a Mother Mary vibe on lover girl? And that's not what it is. To me, I feel like you don't know what a lover girl is. A lover girl is somebody that's like thirsty for a relationship. Lover girls really, really love being in relationships. They love almost to a fault. Not almost, to a fault. Think about Megan Thee Stallion. Perfect example. Came out with the Lover Girl song because she was all in love with a nigga that was secretly mistreating her behind the scenes as she was performing to become a wife. That's a lover girl. They're willing to be all about you as long as you're love bombing them. And then when the love bombing is over, well, you find out, who they are from there. But like lover girls, like, in a generic way are just women that like to love on the people that they're in relationships with and love being in relationships and love and really want to be just up under a man. Like, to me, that is how I've seen lover girls. Yeah, Cardi B, Portia. You see how that doesn't mean that they're virtuous or honest. It just means they're hyper-focused on relationships. And we all go through that point in our life. As young women, I feel like, and as women, period, I think there's a time for that. And I think at some point in maturation, we should always understand the relationship with ourselves is more important than our relationship with anybody else.
What I said, meaning they weren't trying to get to know me. These were not women with
I'm gonna rewind because he starts to say shit that don't make sense right up in here.
To get to know me. These were not women with fail. The lover girls who are supposed to be innocent and virtuous ignored what I said, meaning they weren't trying to get to know me. These were not women with...
That doesn't make sense. Just because they thought a prolonged relationship with you would change your mind does not mean that they weren't interested in getting to know you. Those two things aren't mutually exclusive. What it does mean is they thought that they would be able to change your mind. That's what it means. And that is a level of control that a lot of women need to get real with about themselves. The problem I feel like is that niggas like this, they talk all that shit, but when women actually show up exactly on that same type of time, y'all call them a hoe. Y'all call them a 304 and all of that shit.
Poor memory. They remembered everything I said, actually. That's everything I said, actually. That's to be innocent and virtuous ignored what I said, meaning they weren't trying to get to know me. These were not women with poor memory. They remembered everything I said, actually. That's how I knew they really liked me. The problem is they put their desire for a conventional love before understanding me.
They put their desire for a conventional relationship before getting to know me. You're framing it in a way that makes me feel like you want to victimize yourself. That's what it sounds like to me. Because at the end of the day, you could just say, hey, you're coming on too strong. This doesn't feel like it's going to work out. Let's just not. You always have that option with women that if they feel too clingy to you, to just stop talking to them. You do have that option at all times.
We're not here to connect. They were here to possess. Even to the point where I would say, I don't want you, and they would hear, I want you. Now, what does that sound like to you? Now, another thing,
why would you say that to somebody? Unless you wanted to hurt them. And I'm going to say that you get off on the women wanting you and you not wanting them.
Here, I want you. Now, what is that?
This thing with, sometimes I feel like men are just so cruel for no reason, and then they don't even recognize that they're being cruel. Like, it's really unnecessary.
To the point where I would say, I don't want you. And that's how I knew they really liked me. The problem is they put their desire for a conventional love before understanding me. They were not here to connect. They were here to possess. Even to the point where I would say, I don't want you, and they would hear, I want you. Now, what does that sound like to you? It sounds like a lack of consent. It's honestly...
It sounds like a lack of consent? So wanting to be in a relationship with someone and they don't want to be in a relationship with you, but you continue to spend time with them, they continue to spend time with you. That means they're disrespecting your consent. To me, this is very dangerous. This is very dangerous. I feel like I would be worried about the women that he's in relationships with if these are the types of mind games he's willing to play. There's a level of victimizing he's doing to himself and making the other person out to be worse than they are. And this is what I tell y'all about. I just said it with Dondre. Men are having some type of competition with women at all times. This is a competition. When women say that men don't understand consent, this is we're in competition. So now I have to act like, see, this is where you don't understand consent. Checkmate. You don't understand consent because you want to be in a long-term relationship with me. See, checkmate. You don't understand consent either, woman, girl, female, whatever the fuck y'all call us. Crazy shit. Crazy work, y'all. I saw this shit and then I commented because I'm going to play it out. But
emotionally abusive. One time a woman was crying in my arms, having to accept that I would never be with her. That was what the conversation was about. And I started crying too because I'm human. And that shit was tragic, bro.
Is that what y'all got? Because when he said that the girl was in his lap crying and he cried too because he's human and it was tragic, bro. I almost feel like somebody told you crying was a manipulation. And your response to them saying that your crying was a manipulation is that you did it because I'm human. Ooh.
In that moment, she asked me why I was crying. And I had to be honest, transparency, back to it. I said, these are empathy tears. This moment is why.
These are empathy tears. He said empathy, but he wanted to say these are sympathy tears. I pity you. Girl, why they gotta be like this?
No, I'm not a psychopath, by the way. This woman then empathy tears. This moment is why I know I'm not a psychopath, by the way. This woman then tried to convince me that I was crying because I felt for her what she felt for me. Despite what I just told her being in line with all my actions and everything.
She's delusional, but you've done things to delude her. And honestly, I feel like you know the women like this when you see them and you get off on this because you could feel when a bitch about to be too clingy within the first meeting. And you could tell that you're going to have to yikes the situation. But the men that play with those women until they get to this point and then act like I told you the truth. No, dude. No. And then y'all young, so y'all think y'all doing some shit that ain't never been done before. But niggas since been playing Jedi mind games with women, and you want women to not be fucking with anybody else because if they fuck with somebody else, they're a hoe. So they have to be monogamous in any type of situation if they fucking with you. And you sitting up there screaming in a bitch face, I don't want you. If you even have to talk to a woman like that, what's happening? What's going on?
And I've said to her, she tried to hijack my compassion, hijack my empathy. I do a stellar job at communicating, so I make it as hard as possible for a woman to resent me. But the manipulative, selfish delusion of a lover girl or a lover boy knows no bounds. Don't think the lover boys are any better. They're just as bad, maybe even worse, because they have a high propensity to get violent. A lot of men share that possessive, conqueror's mindset towards dating. If they actually wanted to connect, they wouldn't be taking every rejection personal. That goes for women as well. Some of the women who've behaved this way with me have apologized, whether that be soon after or later on. But it really does make me question, what's the point of being honest if this woman will tell herself a lie any fucking way? Lover girl.
What's the point of being honest if this woman will tell herself a lie anyway? The way y'all try to mansplain your way out of integrity is insane. But I said, you not lying is about your own integrity and how I said, let me reread that. You can't find my socials. I don't know why. I'm on there. You not lying is about your own integrity, not how other people respond to it. And I hope that's clear. But what I mean is how you carry yourself and the person that you are is a personal decision. So you keep talking about how you're not a terrible person. Then why are you questioning your own integrity? Why are you asking yourself, why would I be honest with this woman if she gonna believe a lie anyway? I might as well just lie to her. Your integrity would mean you didn't want to be a liar. So why would I lie? I don't want to be a liar. That's what the whole video is about. And his comment was, I agree. The question was a rhetorical expression of me feeling unappreciated. And I left it at that because the unappreciated word really made me feel like, yeah, this nigga's insane. Because the fact that you feel that everything you do that isn't bad should be appreciated and praised by somebody is kind of wild on some slick shit. Like, I guess it might be because I'm a woman. And we often have to deal with people not appreciating the positive qualities about ourselves because they expect them from us, so they don't really appreciate them. But you feel unappreciated because girls want long-term relationships with you and you just want to fuck them. As if the relationship doesn't go. You meet the girl, you like the girl, you tell a girl you don't want a relationship, you fuck the girl. And then you continue to fuck the girl repeatedly. And then you go on dates with her. And then you go and, introduce her to some of your friends or your family members and shit, right? You start doing romantic shit because I think you niggas kind of like getting the woman all in love with you and then being like, bitch, I told you I ain't really want to be with you, because then all the power is always in your hands and you get to leave feeling like, see, I left another bitch. I broke another bitch. I hurt another bitch. Look at her. She's crying in my lap, all sad and shit because she can't be with me. I must be so fucking amazing. I'm really the shit. The way these hoes be crying over me, the way they be trying to beg me to be with them. And I'm really not even that nice to them on some real shit. I told a bitch straight to her face, I ain't even like you. I don't like you, bitch. I don't want nothing from you but your pussy. You ain't worth nothing to me but some pussy and a good time. I'm only trying to connect our nether regions, bitch. You know what I'm saying? And it don't matter how long you let me fuck you. It don't matter how long we be like chilling and smoking and doing boyfriend, girlfriend shit. I'm never gonna really want that with you. And you should like always accept that. And then if you don't, then I could be cruel to you because I already told you. Because there's an invisible judge and jury in this room that's clocking the fact that I told you. So that means it's okay for me to treat you like shit now because I told you what it was. That means I don't have to care about you at all. What do you mean? I can be as cruel as possible because right before you gave me the pussy several times, I told you that I didn't want nothing else from you. And yeah, in real life, when people get to know each other more and spend more time together, they like each other more. But yeah, no, that's not going to happen here, bitch. Sorry. We ain't going steady. We just be fucking around. Yeah, the sex great. Damn, babe, we fucking around. Girl, you got me hot. Popping up at my spot. You out your goddamn man. What you think in back? Sorry if I led you on. That pussy good. My bad. I can't play it, y'all. They copyright strike me, so I couldn't play it again. I'm just your little buddy. We ain't going steady. Come my phone when you want to play. Girl, you know I'm ready. You just a fun girl. We just fucking around. Only beat you once. You catching feelings now? Me, your baby daddy? Girl, how that sound? That sound good for you. Don't sound good for me. I'm just your dildo. That's all I can be. Ain't even charge you. Let you fuck me for free. To keep it funky with you. I feel like you owe me. Girl, we ain't going steady. I thought you know me. Listen. In my experience, even when you accept that, these type of niggas gonna have to find a way to leave you feeling less than, which is why they slut shame you. Because when women really are cool with this shit and they're just about connecting and they don't want anything serious, the men don't like that. They really don't like when you are okay with just being a little buddy and not going steady. and only hitting your phone when I want to play. I hope you read it. Like, when we are like that, in my experience, we're slut shamed for it. You don't really want women to be on whatever you on and respect your consent and all of that bullshit you was talking. You don't really want that. You want them to be pining and crying over you, because then it makes you feel like, as a boy, the boys are better. Boys are better. City boys up 1,000. Oh, girl, the world. Hey, Jasmine Webster, thank you for the super chat. So happy to see you live today, right on time. Take my mind off of work for a second. Yes, I love y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed the live today. It's me, Kia. I can't stand any of this with Alicia and Tigger. Not to mention, people are making skits about DV. That's insane, to make light of people's drama. When I tell y'all, it's been so many people who I know and like that have been making them skits, and I just slide right past it. Because to me, I'm like, I know y'all think this shit funny, but I feel like it's not. Like, I don't know. I guess I think the situation is serious and it's too soon for that. And y'all were all online. Like, and that's why I said I hate it here. Like, sometimes I really, really hate it here. Because there's just some things that I feel like are not cool. Forgive me. Some shit just not worth the laugh. It's just not. And domestic violence is one of those things, especially because femicide rates are extremely high. The rates on all of this shit is extremely high because of how stressful and fucked up the times are right now that we're living in. And women are always, children and women are always going to be at the brunt of that. Marginalized people are always going to get the brunt of us living in hard times the way we do. Girl. Miss Blackberry, thank you for the super chat. I totally understand, Bondy. Lyric is your safe space, especially him knowing your history with your dad. It would sting more if it ever got fit. Oh my God. Especially. Like, you're absolutely correct on that. Thank you for the super chat. No, girl, I was about to cry because I was just like, oh my God. Like, the way, oh my God. When I tell you the way that would break something in me for real. Graduated thought, thank you for the super chat. The first people to notice and speak about a problem are always demonized. Look at what happened to Thomas Butler, the man who said illness comes from germs that can't be seen. He was arrested and convicted. Child, I need to find that book. It's going to piss me off. My God, on today. Thank you for that. Thank you for the super chat. And just give me a minute, but I'll do the moderator thing because I can't do it on here. I have to do it on YouTube. Hey Makai, thank you for the super chat. What about the dudes who want girls to be in a relationship then change their mind about what they want? He seems like that type also. Because everything is about a manipulation. Everything is about manipulation and winning the game they're playing and dominating and having the most control, or, and I think whoever wants the person the most, that person loses. So if they want you more, they lose. If you want them more, you lose. I think that's how a lot of men are thinking about this in their head. Especially if they pretty, and he's pretty, right? It's giving an ASAP Rocky vibe. You think a lot of yourself, don't you, buddy? You think a lot of yourself, don't you, buddy? That's why superficial things can't matter that much, y'all. Superficial shit cannot matter that fucking much to you. Like, because how you're being treated is so much more important than what's happening. Hold up, y'all.
Yo, one of my favorite black.
There was a video I saw about, what was it? Girl, I was scrolling yesterday. I was scrolling for dear life yesterday, but there was a video about, this low vibrational shit and how, the whole Young Miami spin that shit. Oh, here you go. Okay. Why y'all always gotta have this background music on stuff? I'm gonna have to edit this shit later. I'm gonna get out of here after this.
I'm gonna get in on this India Ari, Young Miami, Carisha scandal controversy, where India Ari said appropriately that song Spin That Shit with Young Miami, low vibrational. This is where the culture is, because a lot of y'all are not knowledgeable and have the historical context to understand whom and what Carisha represents, okay? Young Miami is the whore of Babylon. And the reason why she doesn't get called out for her blatant, flagrant behavior is because she's likable, she's personable, she's funny, she's smart. But this is the thing in the Black community that we all need to understand, that one of the 7 deadly sins, one of the sins that has centuries old, eons old tales about is greed. Okay. And
the reason why I wanted to play this for y'all, so this exact part, the part about greed, because I feel like that's what I was talking about with like the things that we need to be teaching young people, and how at one point it seemed like everybody kind of had a framework that we were, you know, beholden to, and now we have no rites of passage. We have no collective Black rule book on what's important and what you need to be on the lookout for. And greed is one of those things.
This is the thing that people give Carisha the benefit of the doubt. Her relations with Sean Combs, P. Diddy, people don't mention it because they're like, by any means necessary, get that bag. Do you know what that means? By any means necessary, get that bag. It's greed. So we have taken upward mobility and replaced it with greed. Some could call it the what do you call it? The hustler culture. Some could call it, you know, S work adjacent culture. I don't believe that. I believe that it's greed. It's not. They change the term, but we know the tale, right? So she's very Whore of Babylon coded. All right, being an S worker or in S work adjacent industries, or just being a girl who believes in, you know, being around men who provide for you, that doesn't mean you do any single thing. That does not transform morals, right? Like, we know that S work has been looked down upon because of Abrahamic religions that were the doctrine that was written for those religions was misogynistic and patriarchal. So we know why the prostitute is treated the way she is, okay? But that doesn't mean the greed and the anything goes is a way to rationalize her degradation. But when her degradation is actually, right, when I see this clip of Carisha and she's talking about, you know, golden showers or whatever, and she says, I'm a whore. Girl, that's, yes, you are. You know what I mean? You are. But that doesn't mean you're an S worker. That doesn't mean every single S worker follows that ideology, you know, because the ideology you're following is one of greed and debauchery, right? And because you've seen something be displayed as a negative, where you think the more heinous, right, the freak-off parties, the more heinous, the more abusive, the more ritualistic, the more money comes in. It's very 1 + 1 = 2 to her. Okay, so when she got interviewed and they were asking her, what are your feelings about Sean Combs? She was like, well, he didn't do anything to me, though. He's never done anything to me.
To be clear, she's not saying that the sex work is the greed. It's how you do it. What she was saying is that just because you're a sex worker, you might be an actual like prostitute. It doesn't mean you're willing to do any and everything for any and everybody. That's not what the fuck that means. Right? So that's not what she's saying. I'm gonna let her finish, but that's not, yeah.
She's like, if you were, that also translates to like, if you were in my position, you wouldn't leave either. I think she was getting $250,000 a month. I'm getting $250,000 a month. You wouldn't leave either. Sweetie, the first month you should have taken that $250,000 and dipped. Why are you still around? Greed. There's a certain amount of money you need to make and you're comfortable. 1 house, 2 house, vacation house, take the money you made, invest it, let it compound, get a wealth management company, whatever. You had a career as the city girl. You didn't make any money from those songs? Did they fuck out over that bad? I don't even think so. Even if there were industry plot holes in it and you didn't get the vast amount of money, you got enough not to be the whore of Babylon. But she decided to be the whore of Babylon, and that's why it's low vibrational, right? And that's why she's being uplifted. She doesn't care because she's living in her immediate idea of reality, not what she's transmitting. And you know why? Because she's greedy. And y'all think being greedy is positive. It's not. It's not. There's been too many tales to let you know what the end of the road looks like. And what does the end of the road look like? A freak off. You are a billionaire, right? Sean Combs is a billionaire. He has all this money. And he said, let me take my girlfriend and have her have relations with male prostitutes. Fine. I'm all into kink. Great. But the problem is, it's the amount of activity. It's the hours after up for days, krugs, hours after hours. It's ritualistic abuse. It's the breaking of a spirit. Why? It's greed. It's not just I'm kind of freaky. It's greed, y'all. That's how they rationalize that amount of money with that amount of activity. Just go get a house on Nantucket, sit at a pool, drink a Mai Tai, watch a TV show, go on vacation, and be happy. Be a philanthropist. Give money to fucking orgs. See, it's a psyop too, because they're incentivizing African Americans, Black people, to uplift greed, which means you'll do anything and everything just to make a bag, an unlimited bag. They never say where's the limit of the bag. They should unlimited bag. The bag is unlimited. What the fuck is the point of that? What is the point of causing that much abuse for money and co-signing the motherfucker who did that? Spin that shit. What is that? Call me a hotep. But I know energetically, like Indianu, that shows you. Everybody at the BET Awards, spin that shit. Spin that shit. She's flagrant. Spin that shit. No, but we're not saying come bring the cotillion. Every bitch needs to be Olivia Pope. No one's saying that. But it's the context of who Carisha is in it that lets you know whore Babylon is here.
And y'all know that's like a Christian thing. Y'all know I don't be doing all that. But I understand what she means because the energy is dark as fuck. Like, yo, the energy of this time is dark as fuck. I hate the fact that I felt a fear. I felt a fear of it and what was going to happen, you know, like ever since like 2016, I have felt the fear of what all of this was going to be. And, you know, and here we are now, you know what I mean? And it's a lot, y'all. And it's very, girl, it be sucking big time. I'm gonna just say it like that. It be sucking big time up and around, you know, these American streets, girl. Also, did y'all see that I had posted the video that I was looking for yesterday? The video I was looking for yesterday from this nigga? And y'all was asking about why isn't he talking about yo, just watch the show. Asking why he talking about finance and all of that. The fuck? But yeah, no, I do agree with that girl about the greed of it all. I do agree that it is a level of greed because at some point enough should be enough and you shouldn't have to do some of the things you're doing. And if y'all think Carisha is happy in all of this, like at peace with all of these decisions and all of this shit that she's had to do, I don't think she is. Because when asked would she want her daughter to be doing that shit, she said absolutely not. There were times when she said that she had lost herself when she was in that relationship with that man. I remember I was paying attention to them fucking tweets that would come up ever so often of her sounding depressed. And that's because that's what that lady was saying about the breaking of a spirit. And that's why I say it is cool to have sex and have fun and all of that. But once people are doing things, even when they don't want to, and they don't have any control over when they can stop, that's where a problem comes in. And we have to be clear about these things and decisive about them. And we have to have the ability to be able to look at these situations and see them for exactly what they are and not group them in with any old thing just because we're more comfortable with calling something just some freaky shit. That's not what this is, y'all.
If you're in a BDSM relationship, after a big argument, after a no, I don't want to do this, why is that when the choking would begin?
Okay, I told her. I was like, you can't just tell me no when I'm supposed to be in charge. Like...
And that's why it stopped. That is exactly why it stopped.
Make that make sense? I'll give you a second attempt here.
Because we agreed upon this as we...
With a safe word?
Well, she didn't have a safe word, really. But it was like, you do it or you get punished for it. And she knew this. We agreed upon this.
But again, not with a baby in your hands.
And this is why sometimes I don't say that people should be into BDSM because I feel like men are, on some level, y'all are raised and groomed in society to not care about women being hurt or harmed. And so I don't like that y'all play with BDSM because sometimes I think it's a way to get off y'all aggression on women and then feel like you're being allowed to do it. Just like that young man said, like this plausible deniability of we already had this conversation beforehand. So now that I'm doing something that you're not okay with, you can't change your mind. You can't change your mind. And that's what it all boils down to, is that in any given moment, once you've agreed to something, you can't change your mind. And I think that shit is very fucked up.
Right.
You're missing the whole big point. That at least my point. You don't do crap with a baby in their hands. Yes. And the fact that I said quit. The fact that I was walking away from you with our child in my hands.
But you were also acting really crazy too, though.
Was she?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think she
Well, not
didn't-
at that point.
Yes, you were.
What?
That-
And
let's give.
problem is
I don't even want to give an attempt, honestly, but out of just the fairness of conversation, why the not? Sure. What?
Because so she was already in a bad mood and yelling and cussing, and I told her, I was like, look, you need to quit your shit or you're going to get punished for it. And she wanted to keep on yelling, cussing, and then she pushed me. And I said, no, you're not going to push me. Like that will get your ass like in a lot of serious trouble. And
Who is he talking to? What do I tell y'all about these niggas thinking they're your fucking father? Like, who are you talking to? You don't make any money. You don't do anything around here. You watch a fucking dog for a living. Who are you talking to?
And then we got into like an actual argument. And I was like, no, like that, like this ain't going to happen this way. You're going to quit your shit.
Actual argument. So see, you understand the difference.
Come on, aftercare.
between doing things sexually and doing things seriously.
But it wasn't all just sexual. You know this.
The issue is you don't.
I can't stand when niggas want to argue with you so much that once you make the point, they then start to argue something you're not even arguing so that they can deflect from the fact that they refuse to concede in being wrong in this situation. Because what the fuck do you mean it wasn't always sexual? That's what we're talking about, that you were putting your hands on me and you're saying it's because we're in a BDSM relationship, but I'm holding a fucking baby. So do we have to like talk about the issue of you always having a child and sex in the same situation? Because he also was caught masturbating in the living room when her 7-year-old little sister was staying at the house. And the host, Caleb, even knows that that's some weird ass fucked up shit and you would do it in order to be caught. Which reminds me of DoorDash Girl. And how I don't care how them people was able to arrest that lady because she posted that shit online. That nigga having his dick out with the door open, knowing somebody was coming to bring food was a kink about getting caught. I don't care what y'all talking about. I stand on that shit to this day.
Don't do shit with a baby in your hands. And that's why I literally just sat here and said is that you cannot just own up for the shit that you've done. That's my whole issue. Yes, we've moved past it, but the problem is you have never actually sat down.
I'm sorry. How have we moved past that, guys? I don't know if that's something we move past, especially with kids in the picture. I'm sorry. I mean, what are we on? Like 5, 6?
You can't believe women are putting up with this, girl. You don't even, girl, you ain't hear from the cacophony of women in them comments about the Big Tigger situation, how many of them don't think that niggas putting their hands on you is domestic violence. If as long as he got a good enough reason for putting his hands on you, it's not domestic violence, girl. They don't even understand that just the physical act of it is domestic violence, girl. So a lot of it is them not knowing when something is an actual problem, not knowing that something is ridiculous and you shouldn't be going along with it, but it's because they've been taught to go against themselves so much that they don't have any real idea of what's too much and what's not anymore. Once you've been taught to betray yourself and how you feel about things in order to make somebody else happy or to make somebody else comfortable, there gets to a point where they just keep pushing it and pushing it and pushing it until you don't have any feelings at all. You don't have any feelings about anything at all. Like it's all not that big of a deal at some point.
Lindsay. Oh, did your entire pregnancy? She didn't know any of this. She knew the door thing. I didn't know the door thing. She knew the door thing. Everything else is blowing everyone's mind in this room. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I see all their faces. Everyone's minds are blown.
The problem is we have moved past it, but when it's just defending and
so he was here to talk about their budget, y'all, but this part he did not know. So I think that's another, he didn't know. So it's another reason why a lot of this shit was like, what the fuck are we talking about here?
Defending the action.
Yes, because he hasn't moved past it. He's defending it today.
It's gotten way more about the personal relationships and less about the finances. But they still do a whole breakdown, a financial breakdown. But that's not the most entertaining part of this one.
Today he is defending it. Today he is defending masturbating in front of a kid. Today he is defending choking you out.
In front of a kid.
Buddy! Today he is defending breaking down a door.
You make it sound a lot worse than what it was.
What? How else would you describe it?
Like, it was an accident. She wasn't even supposed to.
I thought straight people mostly did BDSM to switch the social power dynamic. How is a straight man dominating a woman a kink? That's just mimicking societal abuse. Child, that's what I felt about it. But I know a lot of men that are doms and they look for subs, and there's a community of women that are subs and online and, you know, on Twitter and all of that, they talk about it. And, you know, they're in a community of people that are okay with men whipping their ass and having to do aftercare after. Now, I do know women that are in BDSM and women who are like dominatrix and shit. I honestly fuck with that. I feel like if a rich man is willing to pay you a lot of money to walk on his back, I don't understand why you wouldn't do that. I'm just saying. And I don't feel like it's the same thing as what I find happening in relationships with black men, because I find when black men are doing this, the BDSM portion becomes a aspect. And I'm saying black men because these are the people that I have the experience with, but it's obvious that this white man is doing the exact same thing. So I just want to be clear. It's straight men, period. But I've been around mostly black men who do this. And I do feel like they are turned on by the ability to hurt you with your consent in their minds. But to me, the mind games that are being played, after a while, it is coercion. Because a lot of times they're doing things that they like but don't really like. And they're doing it to make you happy. And at some point, making you happy is what becomes the thing that makes them happy. So, you know, the lines get blurred a lot in these situations to me. We still talking about India Ari? Did India Ari come out about, okay, yeah, you listen, you can ask for India Ari to speak on every man. We all know that she's an older woman, which older black women, and most of them are pick-me's to some extent. We know they all just want to be chosen by a man, and, you know, they want to be the girl that you want, even if that's, you know, you want the girl from the video, and I'm not your average girl from your video. So I'm triangulating myself with other women and all of that. And when it really be these fuck ass niggas, we're aware of that here. Okay. Everybody calm down. We know that doesn't mean that she was wrong in this instance. Again, it's not a binary thinking thing. A person can be right about one thing and wrong about another. That's why I say she be slut shaming people in one breath.
She's walking out.
It's not an accident. No one sets himself up there without the risk, the hope, the kink of it.
No, see, that's where your f***ed up mind comes from.
No, you go to the bathroom.
Are you
Everyone knows to go to the bathroom. No, I've never had a situation where anyone would assume or insinuate, because I've never been caught.
Where's your mind going to?
Is that just my mind that you go to the bathroom when a kid is gonna come out? Okay, everyone else is
just not masturbate for one night.
Well, there
was
is
where
that, but
mine-
everyone, I guess, according to you, everyone in this room is a pedophile because everyone raised their hand when they said we'd just go to the bathroom.
And that's not the point. Just stop. Just admit that, yes, it was fucked up. Everybody here, you've
And
even
also
said that it was
gaslighting the
fucked up.
kid. Gaslighting kids in their line, all this stuff. Like, that's not what you say if it was an accident. If it was an accident, you own the accident. You don't do the gaslight. You don't do the bullshit.
I didn't even know she even seen me until like a week later.
What?
When it came out.
I knew that night.
Nobody told me that night, though.
Good.
You told me that she didn't feel good. She was going home. And then I
Because
found...
that's what I got told from a 7-year-old.
So who all was in the house?
Me, our old.
Yes, I'm sorry. Matthew is right. That's another thing. In this situation, India Ari didn't say anything bad about Carisha. It wasn't like when she acted a fool that last July 4th when Megan Thee Stallion performed at Essence and she felt like it was inappropriate. It's like it's a late night show. Like it's like 11 o'clock. Like, what do you mean? Anyway, but what we mean by her not being wrong is that, like, you know, it's very low vibrational at large.
Just
subcultures are now like the regular way to be, and it's weird.
My sister and him.
Okay, regardless, let's pretend the kid's not even there. If her and her sister's there, I'm not. Hey, you want to know something fun? My girl back home, her sister's in town right now. I'm not in the living room.
So, I mean, listen, there's so much going on in this situation, but you see what I mean in this situation. This is a very similar situation where women get in relationships with these men and their self-esteem is in the garbage can even before they get into these relationships. Their expectations for themselves and for their children are not high, as we've discussed. Again, not even knowing when somebody is abusing them. But to me, this man asked her to do BDSM so that he could make harming her okay. because there's always an imaginary judge and jury in a room. You know what I'm saying? And it's sad. It's really, really sad because once again, child abuse. While everybody's worrying about falling in love and having a perfect relationship and a man and a woman, and that's what the kids need. No. A lot of times you have to be wary because the men are doing weird shit around the kids. And the bitches' self-esteem is so low that they don't care to do anything about it. And sometimes they don't even see when things are fucked up because apparently
Evil is good. That's what I think. It must be.
all right. I love y'all. Y'all should tip me. I hope y'all had a good live with me today. I had a good live with y'all. I'm about to get off of here and go eat something so I can work out today. Okay, so I don't be, fat, black, and lazy like black men love to stereotype black women to be. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good one. Peace out.